Some people said, hey, you're talking about players, you're talking about coaches. Well, how about this? When I think of baseball in Jacksonville, and I've been here since 2008, don't you think about Pedro Bregan and the Bregan family? Had a lot of answers like that. Absolutely you do. Could Chipper Jones be it? He's the best one to ever play through here. Javi Baez might be making a name for himself as well. But those guys were not from here. They played their high school baseball here. So do you have to be homegrown? Whatever parameters you put on it, you get the point of the conversation. I also think when you talk Mr. Baseball, you might be talking about two legendary coaches here on the college diamond. The University of North Florida, Dusty Rhodes, and of course, Terry Alexander from Jacksonville University. And there could be some up-and-comers when it comes to Mr. Baseball. We'll talk about those on the way here all day. This is going to be a unique show. I just tweeted out. I'm actually a little nervous about this show because we have now 20 guests that are going to join us from now until 6 o'clock. It will not be a lot of, hey, how you doing stuff. It will get right to the point. We'll ask a couple of questions. We'll get them in and out. And on to the next guy, and we don't want to dismiss anybody. We could spend probably 15 minutes with everybody on the show, but I do want to celebrate Jacksonville baseball. We asked a lot of folks out there, put a lot of feelers out there for guests. Not all we got, but the ones we did we're pretty happy with, and that included Chipper Jones on Wednesday, so we'll share some of that conversation. And I'll take you through the list of players from the Jacksonville area who have made their mark on the diamond, not only in high school, collegiately, but in the professional ranks as well. I got to tell you, I love baseball. And how about the news today? The governor has opened up youth sports, which means baseball and softball and lacrosse and everything else back open for business here as we head into the Memorial Day weekend. In fact, my daughter has a softball tournament. It's on over in Claremont, so in the central part of the state, the other side of Orlando. I hear there's a baseball tournament down the Vero Beach area for the travel ball folks. So baseball is back, softball is back, youth sports is back after this 2-month hiatus when everything hit the pause button. And, of course, coming up is the Major League Baseball draft as well. Could we have the next Chipper Jones in terms of the number 1 overall draft pick being from, well, or playing high school baseball in Jacksonville? That is Austin Martin. He could be a homegrown talent, the first homegrown talent to be number 1 overall in the 2020 Major League Baseball draft. He joins us in the 4 o'clock hour. So we've got a litany of guests. We're going to have a lot of fun. And this was a lot of fun to put together. So we've done some research. As always, with shows like this, listen, we are going to leave some folks out. There have been so many good players from the Jacksonville area, and we're not meaning to leave people out. But if we do, jump on social media, on Facebook, on YouTube. You can watch the show from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. daily on ESPN 690, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, even if you're doing a little gaming. But share some of your favorite players and coaches and anybody we might miss along the way because we want to hear about them. And I've got to tell you, I've been educated over the last week or so. Every time I would talk to some folks in the baseball world or have been around for a long time here in Jacksonville, a new name would pop up, and I was like, oh, my goodness, how are we going to do this? Even when I was driving in, Billy Butler texted me and said, hey, I'm coming on the show. So we'll have Billy Butler from Wolfson. Had a great career in the big leagues, made almost $60 million. He will join us as well on the show. But, again, if we miss some folks, we don't mean to, and you let me know if we do miss some because I'd love the conversation, who some of your favorites are. That will be part of the discussion here on a Friday edition of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. So I started off with Mr. Baseball, right? Dusty Rhodes, Terry Alexander. I think you could make the case. I asked somebody this morning. They said those two guys probably, the imprint they left, the mark they made on those two campuses, but on the entire city, how many people they touched through baseball, how many people they saw, helped coach, maybe helped groom, that made it to the professional ranks or at least through college, and all the young men that they helped groom onto life. Pretty astounding number, of course. And then I said the Bregan family with the Jacksonville Sons, and Pedro comes to mind, but I think it's the entire family. And now they've sold the Jacksonville Sons to Ken Babby, who's doing a fantastic job with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. That's just a little bit of baseball in the Jacksonville area. We're going to talk all about it on the way here today. We're going to kick off the show with a guy that's currently in the big leagues. That's coming up in just a few minutes. His name is Ben Gamble. And then there are some coaches along the way that we'll have on. You know the names, too. Don Suriano, Bob West, Mike Boswell, some of the legends that have coached on the diamond. And then we'll remember some that are now gone as well. Like Ben Stevens and Jack Spencer. So we'll bring up some of those names when it comes to baseball. Probably not a lot of time for phone calls, but if you want to jump in on social media, join the conversation. Please do. Once again, let us know of your favorite player, coaches, who you grew up watching, and who you think Mr. Baseball in Jacksonville would be. There is no right answer, by the way, when it comes to that. Brent Martineau here, Austin Lane with the day off on this Memorial Day weekend. We'll obviously take off Saturday, Sundays. We always do. We'll also be off on Monday for the Memorial Day holiday. And I think they're playing some World Series games of yesteryear on Monday, Coos, aren't we?
Yeah, it sounds like we're going to be playing some of them. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but when the boss texted us, they said a few of the World Series games.
Well, there you go.
Like, okay.
Well, it might be all day, a little marathon. Because, listen, you think Memorial Day, you do think baseball. It's not necessarily opening day, but we're a couple months into the season, and you can watch a lot of ball games. And you think kind of cookouts and hot dogs and baseball. And, well, we haven't been able to get that yet. The MLB story is an entirely different one. We might ask a couple of our MLB guys about that. Probably won't get too deep into it, what happens, because nobody really knows the true answer. But even take Ben Gamble, who's going to come up in just a couple of moments, played at Bishop Kenny. Obviously, his brother Matt also played for the Milwaukee Brewers. He got drafted by the Yankees, played for Seattle. He was about set to make $1.4 million, one of his biggest paydays in the big leagues yet, after getting drafted back in 2010, I think it was. And now he doesn't have the paycheck coming. And I'm not saying feel bad for guys that are going to make $1.4 million, but not everybody's making $30 million. This was a big payday opportunity for Ben Gamble, and now we're not even sure if we're going to have a Major League Baseball season. But we will celebrate baseball here in the River City, and we're going to do it next. What we're going to do is take a quick timeout because we have to get commercial breaks in, and then all these interviews. The floodgates are about to open. If you want somebody to take you out to the ball game today, it's going to be us here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. Coming up right after this on ESPN 690. Ben Gamble, Don Suriano on deck when we get back on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly sunny and hot today with an isolated afternoon thunderstorm. Highs from 90 to 95. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Did you have to postpone popping the question because of the COVID crisis? Get 5 years, 0 interest now at Beards Diamonds.
During this uncertain time, one thing is certain: the essential need for continued love and care for your pet. Forever Vets Animal Hospital will remain open with the health and well-being of staff, clients, and pets remaining a top priority. Forever Vets Animal Hospital's 8 locations offer curbside pickup and drop-off, follow social distancing requirements, wear personal protective equipment, and have thorough cleaning procedures of exam rooms following every appointment. The Forever Vets team is thankful for the hard work and dedication of Jacksonville's first responders and will be offering a 10% discount to the doctors, nurses, police officers, firefighters, and delivery truck drivers continuing to help our community during this time. The senior citizen and armed forces discount has also increased from 5 to 10%. Forever Vets Animal Hospital is committed to continuing to care for the pets who are always there for us, especially during times like these when we need them the most. Forever Vets Animal Hospital, open for you. Visit forevervets.com to learn more or schedule an appointment.
It was one of those miserable summer days around here, 90 degrees, and my air conditioner broke. Second summer in a row that happened to me. So I made a change, and I called Bold City Heating and Air. Why wait until your AC unit breaks like I did and you're sweating like I was? Find out if your house is ready for the heat right now. Call Bold City Heating and Air at 904-379-1648. Or visit boldcityac.com. The hot weather is on its way. It's inevitable. We know it's coming. Bold City Heating and Air is giving you $25 off annual maintenance. What does that mean? What do you get? Bold City Heating and Air will service, clean, and test your system to ensure it's working efficiently and will keep you comfortable this summer. All of that for $70. Take care of your family. Take care of your AC unit. Take care of you. Book your maintenance service now and save. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Save now and beat the heat with Bold City Heating and Air.
One-to-One Financial is Jacksonville's hometown credit union, and we've been helping people improve their lives and start businesses in this community for more than 85 years, longer than any other local institution. Like our name says, we work one-to-one with everyone, no matter their background, and we offer the best rates on loans and savings accounts, free debt counseling, plus no-cost financial planning. Learn more and join us at one-to-one-fcu.org, federally insured by NCUA.
Do you hear something in the attic?
Where do you want to eat tonight?
Why won't the lights work?
Where should I take my car for engine work?
Do you think I need to get this spot checked out?
Where did these bugs come from?
When are we going to paint the house?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Golick and Wingo.
Jason fits in for Trey with Mike Golick Jr. A new Mel Kiper Jr. mock draft.
When you're hearing Detroit talk about trading Darius Slay, all of a sudden, all the rumor mills start to churn now, boy.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Trey Wingo here from Golick and Wingo. You're listening to Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane. Give the guys a call. Grab your cell phone and call *690. This is ESPN 690.
Goes the other way. Williamson, long run, and a dive, and he can't get there. And it gets by him, and Gamble's going to run for a while. Around second, on his way to third. Eddie Cedar waves him around, and it's inside the park. Home run for Ben Gamble, and it's a one-run game in Milwaukee.
He ran around those bases in less than 15 seconds inside the park. Home run for the Milwaukee Brewers. Did it against his former club, too, the Seattle Mariners. And today, heck, he's just trying to catch a wave, I think, out of Jax Beach. Let's welcome in Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 as we bring in a bunch of big leaguers and celebrate Jacksonville baseball. I'm Brent Martineau, Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We welcome Milwaukee Brewers outfielder Ben Gamble. What's up, Ben? How you doing, man?
Good. How you guys doing today?
Hey, doing fantastic. Thanks for taking a few minutes. How's the surf out there?
It's been good. Last couple of days have been really fun.
How's the swing doing, man? How you doing staying in shape and just kind of waiting for whatever's about to happen?
We've been making the most of it. Fortunately, there's cages all over Jacksonville. So I've been able to definitely get my swings in and also been able to get my workouts in. So I've been staying in shape.
Absolutely. How much are you guys in tune with everything going on? Are you just reading about it? The Players Association telling you about it? You just kind of keeping your fingers crossed that everything works out?
Yeah, I've talked to a couple guys I've played with and stuff like that, and obviously, hearing from the PA, but yeah, fingers crossed. Definitely miss competing every night.
All right, we're celebrating local baseball. Ben Gamble, Bishop Kenny, and a 2010 draft pick of the New York Yankees. Man, I'll tell you what, it's a grind. People don't understand it, do they? You got drafted by the Yankees in 2010. You end up in Seattle, now Milwaukee, and starting to get some regular action the last couple of years, especially. But it was a long road to the big leagues. How was that grind?
It definitely makes you appreciate everything that, you accomplish in the game. I wouldn't give my minor league experience back for anything. Some of the relationships you form with the guys, you're spending every day with them. It's definitely a grind, but, it's all worth it.
Hey, how about playing at Bishop Kenny? Bob West, of course, a legend over there, but I can read off the long line, your brother being one of them with Matt, and obviously Papelbon, Travis Chapman we're going to have on the show a little bit later on. I mean, the list goes on and on for Bishop Kenny. Pretty prideful about baseball over there, huh?
Oh, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
What about your brother, Matt? I know he had some injuries. Who's the better hitter? How much do you guys discuss that? Is that a competitive thing within the family?
It's not really that competitive. I think Matt, honestly, I think what Matt did at the plate for the time that he did it, I don't think there was really anyone close to what he did in the minor leagues. Yeah, I mean, the guy could wake up and hit.
Yeah, he certainly could, and you must run in the blood, man. You can do it as well. Yelich and Braun, Lorenzo Cain in the outfield. That's a heck of an outfield, man. What's it like watching some of the veterans play ball and kind of grow up around those guys?
Oh, man. No, I got nothing but respect for those guys. Watching them go to work every day, and they're in there every day, too. You know, it really makes you appreciate what they're doing.
Absolutely. 263 batting average, 20 home runs, 2017 and 19, played in 134 games. Have you proven to yourself you can be an everyday guy and kind of like, hey, man, I belong here?
You know, for me, you know, any way I can help a team win. If it's starting, if it's playing every day, if it's coming off the bench when they need me, you know, I'm just happy to be in the lineup whenever I can get in there.
Ben Gamble with us, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. We're going to let him go in just a moment, but how prideful are you playing ball and coming from Jacksonville, and how much did it help playing in the state of Florida, whether it was the travel ball circuit, the high school circuit, that when you even got to whatever level you're playing at, you've already seen a lot of good players?
Well, no doubt. I think, first of all, you know, the fact that we can play all year long helps. And, you know, I think that the level of competition that, you know, we see growing up is, you know, I was going to Florida State with Colby Sims, and, you know, there's just so many good players that have come from this area that people don't even know about. It's, you know, it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben Gamble with us. Hey, we played that inside the park home run that you hit. It's only 15-second run. I know you're in really good shape, but it looked tiring as heck.
I'm in baseball shape.
How fun have some of those kind of moments been? I know it's not like you've played 8 years in the big leagues, but you've had some great moments, whether it's throwing guys out at the plate, big-time catches, obviously some home runs inside the park and outside the park. How much do you cherish already some of the moments that you've had in the bigs?
No, you know, just looking back and just kind of even peeking over just the rosters and, you know, some of the names that are on those rosters that, you know, I got to spend time with and, you know, build a bond with. I just think, you know, like playing with, you know, Robbie Cano and Ichiro and, you know, guys like that, you know, it's pretty special. Absolutely. Ben Gamble, hey, man, go have some fun this afternoon, and we can't wait to watch you play some ball, hopefully later on this summer. Appreciate you taking a few minutes. Yeah, thanks for having me. All right, Ben Gamble, obviously a 2010 draft pick of the Yankees and now playing with the Milwaukee Brewers. And by the way, his brother was a fourth-round pick of the Milwaukee Brewers, had some injuries with the knees, but for flat-out hit, Ben just said, heck, man, that guy just could wake up and hit. It's amazing, man. Hitting is the hardest thing to do in sports. The Gamble brothers could certainly get it done, and Ben Gamble's still doing it in the big leagues. Hopefully they get back to some action later on this summer. All right, I told you we're going to rip and roar right through this as we celebrate Jacksonville baseball. And when we talk Jacksonville baseball, and I said, who is Mr. Baseball? Well, some folks respond with our next guest. That is Don Suriano, the legendary coach from the Bowl School, started the programs at Fleming Island and Ridgeview. Hello, Mr. Suriano. How you doing, Coach?
Hello, Brent.
Thanks for jumping in. We really appreciate it. Man, I got to tell you, when I'm asking people about it, Mr. Baseball, and you think baseball, they certainly think of what you've been able to do. 559 wins, I believe it is, 28 seasons, 17 district titles, 10 regional crowns, 10 Final Four appearances. Woof, pretty good, huh?
Yeah. I'm so excited to have been able to work with the kids that I worked with, and you know, growing up in Fernandina Beach and going to Chipola and then playing at JU here locally, I just wanted to share my experiences. I knew a long time ago I was going to stay in baseball when I was growing up. I was a three-sport athlete in Fernandina, and I knew I was going to find a way to be a coach and make a living out of it. And God bless, here I am, 66 years old, and started baseball in Little League at age 9. And I'm 51 years later, I decided I'd go ahead and stop around 60.
How about that? Do you miss it, or was that a good decision?
It was a great decision. I mean, I see a lot of the older coaches sticking with it. And I just felt like I had put my time in, and I had taught enough kids and spent enough time training everybody else's son. So now in retirement, my wife and I get to train ourselves. We get to go bike ride and walk and swim, and you know, and that's most of my lunch excursions with my ex-players, ex-teammates. I've got a group of JU players in town that we have lunch once a month that I played with back in the mid-'70s.
That's really cool.
And you talk about a relaxed time to be with friends and ex-players and ex-coaches, and that's kind of what you do in retirement, and that's what we're doing. And they all look at me and go, "Man, you're so much more relaxed now than when you were coaching, because you're in the grind, you're battling, you're pushing, you're competitive." If you go back and look at the coaches that I competed against in the Jacksonville area, and we're talking about Howard May, Charlie Matthews and Rusty Green at Sandalwood, Bob West, John Chappell at Middleburg, Jack Spencer, Kenny Rowland up in Fernandina, Des Hamilton. I mean, you had to bring your lunch pail every single game. There were no easy games back in those days, and you had to cut your teeth on it. And I'm so proud to have been able to coach against those guys, and they're my friends still to this day. And we don't get together as much as we want to, but it was a great era back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s for that group of coaches.
That's incredible, and I'm glad you mentioned a lot of those names, and we'll continue to mention a lot of those names throughout.
Yeah.
You're certainly one of the legends.
Outstanding baseball people, and you learn something every single day. And I think if somebody was going to describe Don Soriano, they would probably say his attention to detail. That's kind of what my mantra was all about. I just wanted to figure out ways to teach kids through repetition every phase of the game, and I went at it through base running. It didn't matter what it was. I was always finding ways to make repetitions in practice better for the kids.
Well, that's a great segue. Don Soriano with us, legendary coach here in the Jacksonville area, and 3 state championships. I kind of buried that part of it with bowls, but he also coached Hall of Famer Chipper Jones. And on Wednesday, we had Chipper Jones on the show, and Don, I want you to listen when he talked about managing, and he also talked about managers. Bobby Cox, Don Soriano, and his dad were on his mind.
I don't want to manage, but I was saying hypothetically, if I were to manage in the big leagues, Don Soriano would be one of my first phone calls. And the reason I say that is his attention to detail and his just being meticulous and repetition after repetition after repetition. You've got to have that on your coaching staff. It's something that I think the Braves have. You know, here in Atlanta right now, a bunch of good coaches that harp on the little things, that nag about the little things, but those little things are what win you close ball games all year. And I think Don Soriano would be a tremendous addition to any coaching staff, whether it be high school, college, or professional.
How about that? Chipper Jones on Wednesday right here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, basically echoing what you just said, Don.
Wow.
And hey, Don, that's a heck of a compliment. I know you've probably heard that before from Chipper, but I got bad news for you. Chipper said he really doesn't want to manage. Even though he would hire you, he doesn't want to manage.
No, I don't. My time is up. But for him to say the same thing that I'm echoing with attention to detail and the little things, because when you get into highly contested games at the state level, local level, you know, you can't just win with having the most talent all the time. Sometimes you can take the best talent and win a state championship, but what's going to happen those days when you run into people? I happen to play against Alex Rodriguez twice in the Final Four, and Alex Fernandez and Rick Ankiel up in Port St. Lucie was the best left-handed pitcher I had ever seen coming through my 30 years of high school coaching. And those attention to details are going to win those little games that you got to rely on something else other than having the best pitcher or the best hitters.
Absolutely.
And I just don't know if the younger coaches today are learning that philosophy. I don't know if they're doing those things. That would be my wonder. Do I wonder, are they being able to teach these kids nowadays? Because I did do some 13 and under travel ball for a couple of years, and half the parents enjoyed the structure and disciplined approach, and half of them said it was too tough on their kids.
Yeah, how about that?
Because they just wanted to swing the bat in practice, take BP, and go home. Well, to me, that's not winning. That's not winning baseball. And Chipper's telling you the same thing. Larry Jones. I think the people that are successful in any sport, I don't care what it is, that structure and discipline has to be, you have to lean at least in that direction. You know, you can. I played for a very disciplined military type coach at Chipola when I was a player, and then I played for a major league ex-player at JU. And I always felt like as a coach, I wanted to find the balance between being too hard and being too easy. And that is a tough thing to try to find the balance in without going too hard or too easy. You got to find that right niche. And that's what I tried to do day in and day out for my 28 years as a head coach.
Well, you did it unbelievably at Bowles, 3 state championships, of course, starting the Ridgeview and Fleming Island programs, and the impact you had on so many, including, of course, the great Chipper Jones. Don Suriano, we appreciate you jumping on, man. Let's do it again soon, okay?
Thanks for including me. It's always a pleasure to talk sports with you guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Don. Don Suriano, some people consider Mr. Baseball here in the Jacksonville area, joining us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. All right, a fun start with Ben Gamble, who's playing for the Milwaukee Brewers, and then one of the legends around here that impacted so many in the sport of baseball. That was Don Suriano. Next, Rick Wilkins. Rick Wilkins on the way. Speaking of the Bowles School, Chicago Cubs had an unbelievable year in 1993. He joins us, and still to come in this hour, Travis Chapman as well, who I think has one of the cool stories about local baseball around here. I'd sign up for it in a heartbeat. That's on the way just a little bit later on. Hey, we're celebrating Jacksonville baseball. Give us your best. Players, coaches, maybe ran through JU, UNF, some of the local colleges, St. John's River, EWC. That will work too, or the homegrown high schools. We'll try to find Mr. Baseball and some of the best high school teams of all time. We're doing it today on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
We've talked about this before. When a bank gives you $100,000 by mistake, do not go spend that money because you're going to get into a lot of trouble for it. But an Albuquerque teenager found $135,000 in cash next to an ATM. What would you do, Stugotz?
Finders keepers. The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Internal Revenue Service. When you owe a personal or business tax debt and can't pay, just hearing those 3 words brings feelings of fear and anxiety. I'm Jonathan David Soriash, Managing Tax Attorney at J. David Tax Law. Everyone knows that if you owe the IRS and don't pay, it's only a matter of time before tax liens, wage garnishments, or bank levies happen to you. The first step to resolution is our no-cost consultation. We take the time to go through your specific tax problem step by step. We explain exactly what your options are and how we will resolve your tax issue. J. David Tax Law is a local firm right here in Jacksonville, where only an experienced tax attorney will represent you. Our fee payment plans are affordable for everyone. If you have tax problems, call us now for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777, or find us on the web at jdavidtaxlaw.com. That's jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away.
Chronic or acute pain doesn't just disappear during a crisis, and neither does Cora Physical Therapy. Throughout this time, Cora remains dedicated to your health and safety. With 15 Jacksonville area clinics, Cora Physical Therapy provides quality care wherever you're most comfortable. In clinic, where we disinfect after every touch. Telehealth gives you remote access to licensed therapists, or Cora therapists will even come to you. We are grateful for our patients' trust and our clinicians' bravery. What matters most is your health. So Cora provides care anywhere you prefer it. Learn more at coraphysicaltherapy.com.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Where I'm from, marijuana is legal. Can I use it in Florida? Nah, it's illegal here, man. But I have PTSD. Should I at least try to get medical marijuana? That's legal. But if I were you, I'd talk to my doctor about qualifying conditions and to find out if medical marijuana is even right for you. Thanks. I'll talk to my doctor.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Nimnik Chevrolet, Nimnik Buick GMC, Shooters, Raymond Hanley, The Tile Shop. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Tire Outlet, the local name in tires that you know and trust, is now offering mobile installation. Tire Outlet mobile installation is safe, no hassle, quick, and same day at your home or office. A Tire Outlet professional will bring and install your tires right on site while staying safely distanced. The only thing easier than getting new tires with mobile installation is making the appointment. Call 904-600-0089 to reserve an appointment. Tire Outlet is part of the First Coast community and is in this with you.
I'm Action News Jax Tanika Hughes. As our communities work to get back to normal, Action News Jax will continue to be on the front lines,
answering your questions about our local economy.
There's reason for optimism.
A dedicated reporter every day covering unemployment, here to make sure state and city leaders are putting your health first.
The mayor will be ready to answer my specific questions.
I'm Action News Jax John Bachman. We know you have questions, and we will find the answers.
Action News Jax. Jax, recovery strong.
Hi everyone, I'm Kim, Client Relations Manager here at Reliant. Reliant has always been focused on the customer experience. Reliant has been a leader in the industry when it comes to using technology to connect with our clients whenever needed. So while everything around us continues to change and other contractors are scrambling to adapt to the new normal, Reliant remains steadfast, ready to serve our clients. Our client coordinators are available to discuss your roofing, solar, and hurricane shutter projects, so give us a call today.
It was one of those miserable summer days around here, 90 degrees, and my air conditioner broke. Second summer in a row that happened to me. So I made a change, and I called Bold City Heating and Air. Why wait until your AC unit breaks like I did and you're sweating like I was? Find out if your house is ready for the heat right now. Call Bold City Heating and Air at 904-379-1648. Or visit boldcityac.com. The hot weather is on its way. It's inevitable. We know it's coming. Bold City Heating and Air is giving you $25 off annual maintenance. What does that mean? What do you get? Bold City Heating and Air will service, clean, and test your system to ensure it's working efficiently and will keep you comfortable this summer. All of that for $70. Take care of your family. Take care of your AC unit. Take care of you. Book your maintenance service now and save. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Save now and beat the heat with Bold City Heating and Air.
Call Zero Res. They are offering to clean and protect every surface in your home for 25% off. Also nominate a family in need, and Zero Res will clean the carpets in one home each day for absolutely free. Zero Res spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Isolating for coronavirus means survivors of domestic violence are trapped with their abusers. You can now get discreet help by texting 904-210-3698 or calling 904-354-HOPE. More information at hubbardhouse.org.
Where is this water coming from?
Who will deliver us lunch?
Why is the air conditioner blowing hot air?
Where can I get a tire fixed?
Do you know someone who can get marker stains out of the carpet?
What do we need to do to get the pool ready?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Jax in this together is not just a hashtag. We believe it, and we are living it, all of us. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. These may be uncertain times, but we can still lift each other up, share a laugh, a smile, and even a shout out. If you would like to recognize someone, maybe a healthcare worker, a truck driver, someone who works for a local restaurant, or maybe it's someone's birthday, call ** 690. Leave a message and we will share it on ESPN 690. That's ** 690. Give it a call and help make somebody's day.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Line drive it in! Single! Here's the winning run! Sanchez around third! The relay!
He didn't say Rick Wilkins' name there, but that was a base knock by Wilkins to drive in the game-winning run. Of course, Rick Wilkins, another Jacksonville guy from the Bowl School. And how about this year in 1993, 303 average, 30 home runs, unbelievable season for Rick Wilkins. 1986 draft in the 23rd round. We're going to talk about that year, those days, right now with Rick Wilkins. Rick, how you doing, man?
Hey, Brett, how are you, my friend?
Great to catch up with you. Great to hear from you. Haven't talked to you in a bit here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Man, we're celebrating local baseball, and you're a big part of it, from the Bowl School to the Chicago Cubs and beyond. It was a lot of fun, I bet.
No question. What a great way to earn a livelihood, and as a young man, and was fortunate to have a wonderful career, but absolutely loved every second of it.
Rick Wilkins with us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. What was that 1993 year like? Unbelievable. What went right?
Well, I'll tell you, not a lot went right to start the season. I think I was hitting about 150 or 160 after about a month of the season, and I didn't feel like I was swinging the bat that poorly, but nothing was happening for me, and about mid-May, I finally got cranked up, and the rest of the year was just a whirlwind. I went from feeling like I couldn't get a hit to feeling like I couldn't make an out, and it was just an extraordinary year. Oh,
what a feeling that is! You heard Harry Carey coming in. You got any Harry Carey stories?
Man, I tell you what. So the first time I met Harry, I had been in the big leagues for about 4 or 5 days, and back then Harry would come down on the field and stand behind the batting cage and the turtle while we were taking BP before the game, and he would interview players that he was going to feature that day in the telecast. And so he asked me to come over and interview with him, and I had never really been that close to Harry yet. And I walked up, and he had his back turned, and he introduced himself to me. And when he turned, his glasses were so thick, his eyes looked like they were the size of like a cue ball. And it startled me a little bit. They were so big. And so anyway, that was my first Harry Carey experience. And I'll tell you, one thing about Harry, he either loved you or he hated you as a player. And he wasn't shy about sharing his feelings about that, any opportunity that he got. So luckily I was on his good side, and he liked me, and really had a good time getting to know Harry over the years I was a Cub.
That's unbelievable. I bet you get asked that all the time. Don't you have to have Harry Carey stories like in your back pocket if you played in Chicago?
Absolutely. And Harry was a piece of work, man. He would go to his restaurant quite a bit after games, and he flew with the team, so we got the opportunity to get to know him a little bit. But away from the field, he was a lot of fun, man. That man liked his martinis and liked to have some baseball, and he was good with both those things. So.
Absolutely. Hey, how good was baseball around Jacksonville during your high school years in bowls?
Well, it was fantastic, and it still is. I mean, we're an NFL town, and so and college football is just so strong in this area. So, a lot of people that don't know Jacksonville well really associate Jacksonville as a football town. But I will tell you that the amateur baseball scene in this area is tremendous. There have been a tremendous number of young baseball athletes going to do very, very well, and a lot of major league players have come out of this area. So the baseball scene here was good then. It's good now. We've got a lot of talent in the area.
Absolutely. Rick Wilkins with us, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. I think people love to know what you're doing now. How you doing? How's the family? You're in Jacksonville, of course. What are you up to?
I am. So I've got a 16-year-old son and a 14-year-old daughter, and they occupy most of my time. My son's actually a baseball player and a catcher, and he plays at Ponte Vedra, and my daughter's a freshman over at Ponte Vedra High School, and they love it. They're both doing very, very well. My daughter's got a 4.4 GPA or something. She's could wind up being the valedictorian of the class.
Awesome.
So proud of both of them, man, and just being a parent and husband and dad and running my financial services practice. That's what I'm doing now.
Awesome. Hey, and not to I end on a bad note, but how bummed are you for Furman? They canceled baseball, of course, a place that you went.
I saw that this week. I'm really disappointed with that. I know they just put a lot of money into the baseball facility, and they've got an indoor hitting area, and so I was a little bit taken aback by that, and it's a shame. It's a beautiful campus and wonderful place to go to school and play sports, and that's what drew me up there is the ability to play football and baseball as a freshman, and that's why I kind of chose to go to Furman. I loved every minute of being there, and that's a tough day for the Paladins. For sure.
Absolutely. Rick Wilkins, great to have you on, man. Let's play some golf, all right?
Man, I'm ready. Anytime. Clubs are in the car. Let's go.
Absolutely. Great to hear from you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Brent.
You got it. Rick Wilkins, 81 home runs, 244 average, over 500 hits in the big leagues. Had that huge season in 93, 303 average, 30 home runs. Mike Piazza was the rookie of the year. Wilkins maybe had a better year than Mike Piazza in 1993 because he was a better catcher than Piazza. Obviously, Piazza was just okay behind the plate. Well, a lot of bowls here in the first hour of the show, from Chipper Jones on Wednesday to Don Suriano to Rick Wilkins. And now we bring in the current coach of the Bowls Bulldogs. Couple times state champ. He's coached a bunch of players. Couple times state champ at Bowls. Don't forget the Inglewood one as well. Welcome Mike Boswell to the show on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Bos, how you doing?
I'm good, Brent. How are you?
Hey, thanks for all your help, by the way. Boswell was a big helper in getting some of the guys, including Chipper Jones. So I appreciate your help. He was fantastic on Wednesday.
Very good. I'm glad to help.
Hey, what's it like for you to be a part of, I guess, the lore of Jacksonville baseball? You've coached some tremendous players. You're a good player in your own right, by the way. But you've coached some just tremendous players from the 99 Inglewood team to these recent Bowls teams.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate to have a lot of really good baseball players. And, we in North Florida, we sometimes get the nick of there's better players in South Florida. But I grew up in South Florida, and we're just as good, if not better, up in North Florida. And I'm just honored to be a part of some of these young guys' lives.
How good was the 99 Inglewood team? Because everybody knows you for what you've done at Bowls now. You've been there quite a while. But I think recent people, and it's a transient place, and, I've only been around since 2008, but that 99 Inglewood team was something special.
Yeah, that 99 team was really good. They could play with anybody, anytime, especially with that big right-hander we had. He was pretty good. With him on the mound, we were as good as anybody. And we had a lot of other guys that were really good too. But having Brett Myers on the mound, I would have put him up against anybody in the country that year.
Yeah, we're going to have Brett on a little bit later on. I mean, just how much of a pain in the ass was Myers?
Wow, you're putting me on the spot there.
I'm just kidding.
You know what?
I got to get that on him. I need some dirt.
I know you are. If you were a competitor and you like to compete, you loved having him on your team because all he wanted to do is win. And he gave you everything he got, and he was a freaking bulldog when he stepped on that mound or in the box. And he made everybody around him better. And he was a big part of, the biggest part of why we were as good as we were, because he did not like to lose. And, pain in the butt, however you want to put it, I just thought it was a competitive edge that he had on him, and he still has it today. So it was awesome being a part of him, having him part of my teams.
You talk about how dominant he was that year in 99, and then you had the privilege of coaching Hunter Barco most recently, who's now at Florida and was off to a fantastic start in his freshman season before they canceled the rest of the season. I don't want to necessarily say compare, but Barco just as tremendous at what he did at the high school level, maybe? Or are they different? How would you compare? I guess I will ask you to compare them.
Yeah, I get that comparison all the time. Well, you had Myers; he was a 12th pick overall. Barco, he dominated for a long time, and they were two different kids. Barco being the nice guy, but you step on the mound and he competes as with the best of them. Brett just had that walk 24/7 of I'm going to compete in everything we do, and I'm going to kick your butt in whatever we do. But as far as talent-wise, one was a right-hander that threw really hard with a great breaking ball. The other one was a left-hander that threw really hard with a great breaking ball. So, it's two different personalities, but both of them competed at the highest level, and they were fun to run out there. When we ran them out there and I put their name on the lineup on the mound, I knew we had a chance to win.
Mike Boswell with us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. You know, we think of some of the big names that you've coached over the years like that. We're talking about Myers and Barco, and we're going to have DJ Stewart on a little bit later on. I mean, the list goes on and on. Who are some of the underrated guys that people didn't talk about a lot that over the years that you kind of use as examples, maybe when you're coaching kids that didn't get a ton of attention?
You know, another one that, you didn't even mention, current big leaguer Austin Slater.
I didn't. You're right. There's a good one.
And, he was a really, really good one for, 3 years. He didn't get to play his senior year because he broke his ankle, but, he kind of goes under the radar. But he was would have been a 4-year starter for us at Bowles, and he was a really good one.
He's having a nice career.
Another one was he's put together quite a career. He is, without a doubt. Another one is Ben Clough. He was a catcher in 2006-07. Went to Stanford also. He kind of runs under the radar. Bobley Triglia comes to mind. We've had a lot of good ones that have come through Bowles, and I was at Inglewood for 4 years, and we had some good ones over there. So. There's been a bunch.
Mike Boswell here with us at Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Coached a 1999 Inglewood team to a state championship, a couple more state championships with Bowles. Has had a ton of success. Has seen a bunch of players go do big things. You mentioned Austin Slater, by the way. That's the grandson of the late Mayor Ed Austin. I have that right?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so. I just wanted to double check with you. But So you mentioned Austin Slater, and that will show you how long the list is of great players around the area. We had Don Suriano on a bit earlier in the show. He mentioned attention to detail was a big trademark of his coaching style. You've actually seen the game change a bunch while you're coaching. Not to say Don didn't, but from even 99 to these current teams, the game has changed. Has your style changed?
I hear it has changed. I don't know that I've changed, but they tell me I'm a lot nicer than I was back then. And I think that's, where Don, kind of the old school attention to detail, X's and O's. And I think now it's a lot more getting to know the players, and it's more of a personality thing. It's they're all individuals, and as far as the trying to still demand excellence, I think that's still there, but there's a whole lot more. I don't want to say coddling, but maybe it's coddling. But getting to know the kids as kids rather than just players.
I got you. That makes a lot of sense.
That's changed a lot.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Mike Boswell with us, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Hey, how's the talent pool at Bowles coming up over these next few years? You've obviously had a ton of success in recent years. What's it look like on the roster coming up?
I really love where I coach, and we've got great players coming up. And I think I've got the best right-hander in the state, maybe in the Southeast next year. Jackson Baumeister. Mm-hmm. He's got an opportunity to get drafted very high. He's committed to Florida State. We got a Tennessee commit, Tanner Zellum, Sully Bracken going to Florida. So I mean, it's we got a good stockpile at Bowles, and we're going to continue to pump them out.
That's awesome. Go get after it. We appreciate you taking the time. Thanks for all the help this week with this celebration of local baseball. Mike Boswell, a big part of it. Thanks, Mike.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
You bet. Coach Boswell from the Bowles School and Inglewood state championships galore. By the way, to go along with the 2 state titles at Bowles, 3 state Final Four berths as a head coach. Also, as an assistant, 3 state titles and 3 Final Fours. So he knows success, and he's seen it at the highest level here in the state of Florida. All right, we're going to roll right into our next guest. We go to Bishop Kenny for this one, and really go down to St. Johns County right now. And welcome in Travis Chapman. By the way, a little full disclosure here, a neighbor of mine. What's up, Chappie?
How's it going, Brent? We're doing well.
Hey, thanks for taking a few minutes, man, on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Talk about baseball in the area, and you mentioned all these guys, and people bring up the name Travis Chapman. That seems like a long time ago you were hitting it at Bishop Kenny. They talk about your IQ, your ability to hit. How fun were those days?
Man, those were awesome days. Growing up playing baseball here, you just had Boz on, who was one of the best coaches, and playing against him when he was coaching, and a lot of great talent that comes through Jacksonville throughout the years. And my years were no different at Bishop Kenny, getting to graduate in '96. We had a lot of the first rounders and a lot of great talent around, and just great baseball.
17th round pick of the Philadelphia Phillies back in the 2000 draft. When you're picked in the 17th round, if you could take us back to that time frame, was it kind of like, hey, this is pretty cool, I got drafted, and now let's see what happens? Or was it like, all right, I'm going to make the big someday?
Well, I'd always thought I could outwork a lot of people, and always thought that you mentioned the IQ, that if I worked harder and worked smarter, I could catch a lot of people that had a lot more talent than I did. And when I was drafted in the 17th round, after setting some records out of Mississippi State, I just saw it as an opportunity. I sat down with the scout that drafted me, and he said, really, you're getting this opportunity because we want you to play for a year or two and coach. And ended up working my way through through the minor leagues with the Phillies, and getting a cup of coffee in the big leagues with the Phillies back in '03.
That's pretty cool. I don't know if this is – I've never asked you this, but I'm going to say I think it's like a really cool story. Like every kid dreams of playing big league baseball. And I think almost everybody's seen like Field of Dreams. Well, there really was like a Moonlight Graham who kind of got in there and did not get one at bat, but played like an inning of ball. And you know the story in Field of Dreams. I think it's really cool that you got one at bat in the bigs. I know you wish you had more, but what was that at bat like?
It was very nerve-wracking, to be honest with you. It was in Atlanta, and we got up early in the game, scored a lot of runs early, and I'm like, oh, man, I've been sitting on the bench here for about 2.5, 3 weeks, and, Larry Boa had basically told me, hey, congrats on a good year in AAA, and, we're calling you up for emergency, but I've never seen you play, and, you're just here as an emergency situation and help back up, and so all of a sudden you start getting up 10 runs, and typically how that goes. You want to get the starters out, and so about the sixth inning, he came over and said, hey, get ready. And so I was really nervous, but I was excited. I was excited to get the opportunity and fulfill a dream, and ended up taking a first pitch strike, and then flew out to right field on a changeup.
All right. Did you hit it pretty well?
No, I was out in front. It was a very routine fly ball to right field.
Come on, man. You crushed it. I didn't see it. Just tell us you crushed it.
Man, it can't be one of those fish stories that grows with age, but it was a very routine fly ball out there.
What does it mean, though, to have it? Again, I'm sure you would have loved to have 500 at-bats or 10 seasons or anything, but the fact that you made it, you got the one, did it make everything a little extra special?
In hindsight, yeah. But at the time, like you said, I just wanted to see and prove to everybody that I was good enough to be there. I wanted to show that I was good enough to play every day in third base or be a utility guy. I'd always faced challenge ever since I was, 6, 7 years old. I'd never been the best player on my team, and I'd always worked hard to try to prove to other guys that, I deserved to be there. And, that's what I missed out on at the time. But looking back in hindsight, 1AB is huge. And now that we're 40-something years old, and it's like, man, that's pretty cool. And it opens a lot of doors. And people like you get to say, man, you had one AB in the big leagues. How many guys would want to do that? And I've been asked questions about from authors of books and, just doing stories on guys that have had 1AB in the big leagues. So it's opened a lot of doors into my current profession and given me a way in with our current players as well.
I think it's pretty awesome. By the way, I'm going to ring the bell for you because a Mississippi State guy right here, of course. The tradition continues from Bishop Kenny and Jacksonville area to Mississippi State. But I want you to we're going to go in a minute or two. I want you to update us on what you're doing now. You're with the Yankees organization. I don't hold that against you. But you're heavily involved in the kind of the new wave of baseball, the analytics of the world. Tell everybody what you're doing.
Well, this year I'm currently the assistant infield coordinator, and I'll manage one of our short season teams if we get back to baseball. I've worked at a lot of different levels throughout, all the way from rookie ball in the Dominican Republic up to AAA in Scranton, and mostly work with infielders, base runners, help out wherever I'm needed, and that's kind of what I'm doing. And yes, I love the cowbell from Mississippi State, and I love dropping off Yankee shirts to your house as well.
We appreciate it. And also throws. You know, I was talking to somebody about Travis Chapman. He's like, he throws one heck of a bat in practice. I think Ty would say the same, by the way.
Yeah, it's fun. It's been fun over the last several years. I've had the opportunity to run or help run earlier report, big league spring training, and throwing BP those guys is a lot of fun.
Awesome stuff. Travis Chapman from Bishop Kenny, 17th round pick of the Philadelphia Phillies, making Jacksonville proud, still in the game with the New York Yankees. Thanks for jumping in, man. We appreciate it.
You got it. Have a great day.
All right, that's Travis Chapman. All right, that was fun. First hour. We've got a whole bunch more to get to in hour number 2, including when we come back, the next big thing. And it seems like we say that every year in baseball. But this kid's legit. Defending national champ from Vanderbilt. Maybe the number 1 overall pick in this year's Major League Baseball draft. Austin Martin joins us when we come back as we celebrate Jacksonville baseball on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
First Take, Your Take with Jason Fitz.
Is it about LeBron? Is it about the Clippers? Now that Reggie Jackson is signed with the Clippers, what's it all mean?
Looking at LeBron because he's LeBron. It's the ball in your hands. You're a top 2 candidate for league MVP honors. You are representing the Laker brand, and everybody's going to the other team. It's a problem, and it may cost the Lakers the chip.
First Take, Your Take with Jason Fitz from 1 to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
These days, the whole world is on the internet 24/7, on their phones, at work, even at the dinner table. It's the internet all the time. So why, when it's time to sell your home, does your traditional agent charge you 6% to list it on the MLS to other agents instead of targeting buyers directly online? That's why Rex was born. For a fee starting at 2%, Rex sells your home where buyers are looking, online, optimized by data-driven marketing, not the MLS. To get started, visit sellwithrex.com. That's sellwithrex.com. With Rex, selling or buying a home has never been easier. Price your home, get a virtual consultation, visit online open houses and showings, all from the comfort of your home with a few clicks of a button. Want to learn more? Visit sellwithrex.com or just use your phone and call 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. License number CQ 1057788. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
They say singing can help you remember things, so here's some tips for parents out there during these tough times.
Number 1.
Make sure your kids wash their hands for 20 seconds after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside.
2.
Virtual play dates, social and physical distancing can help save lives.
3.
Tell them they're safe and show your love and pride. Yes, we'll get through this together. Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Are you now worried about how to continue providing the same level of service to your customers? Many service-oriented businesses are struggling to create new ways to maintain their customers. What happens to those that haven't been able to adapt? At SCORE, we can help by offering advice and resources through a vast library of online information and timely webinars. Since 1964, SCORE has assisted more than 11 million entrepreneurs and small business owners. Go to our website, jacksonville.score.org, to see how we can help you today.
This message is brought to you by Community First Credit Union.
Well, it's been a difficult few weeks, to say the least. Jacksonville has seen tough times before, but nothing like this. Now, as we move towards reopening and getting back to work, let's not forget what we've experienced and what we've learned. And one thing we've learned is that there are no strangers in Jacksonville. We are one city, one community. And this pandemic has touched all of our lives, regardless of who we are. From Jack's Beach to Baldwin, from Fernandina to Fruit Cove, we've faced this thing together because that's how we do things in Jacksonville. All of us at Community First realize that staying safe is what matters now. So as we start to bring our city and our lives back to life as we know it, that means looking out for each other. So that's what we'll do. And we'll get through this to a better, brighter future in Jacksonville.
Federally insured by NCAA.
Take a look out your window right now. Things appear basically the same, but you know they're not. Same with your business. There have been changes, some might even be permanent. Only time will tell. But in the meantime, how will you respond? Stay the course, or will you explore the new opportunities in front of you? At Cox Media Group Jacksonville, we know that those who explore often discover wonderful new things. If you're willing, we're able to help. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com. And let's build Jax.
Trade pros. Whether you specialize in service or new construction, Ferguson knows firsthand how much work goes into a long day on the job, which is why we're committed to offering the products and solutions to get every job done right. With over 1,000 locations, an unmatched selection of specialty products, tools, and supplies, our pro pickup and same or next day delivery, you can trust that doing business with Ferguson will be the easiest part of your hard day's work. Visit Ferguson.com to find a counter location near you.
It's time for some straight talk. Even though most live sports are on hold now, big wireless companies haven't stopped playing games. They're always trying to lock you into overpriced contracts. With Straight Talk Wireless, there are no contracts. It runs on America's best network, same as the big carriers, but you save up to 50%. $45 a month gets you the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. You might miss sports, but don't play games, you'll lose. Straight Talk Wireless. No contracts, no compromise.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Fred Cotton's Landmark Barbecue, Fiber Mortgage, Pie Heaven Bakery, Gary's Carcraft, Weeks Brothers Glass, Lloyd's Construction. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Out of sight, out of mind still holds true. When things disappear from your day-to-day life, you think about them less and less. This includes your business. Yes, things are difficult, but if your customers aren't thinking about you now, how can you be sure they will be when this is past? At Cox Media Group Jacksonville, we make sure they will. We'll help you stay on the mind of your customers and even get into the mind of some new customers. Contact CMG Jacksonville at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Yeah, I'm a little less optimistic than I was a week or two ago. Obviously, having Blake Snell come out and say what he said, that wasn't a real good look for the players. I think if he had stuck to the narrative of just sticking to the health aspects and being concerned about the spread and whatnot, that might have come off a little better. But the last thing 30 million out-of-work Americans want to hear about is, some millionaire baseball player complaining that he's only going to get 25 or 30% of his contract.
That is the great Chipper Jones, who will be in the booth for ESPN if they get back to playing some baseball this year on Wednesday Night Baseball. He joined us on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 on Wednesday. And if you look at the resume for a player who passed through Jacksonville as we celebrate Jacksonville area baseball here on the show on this Friday, well, there's nobody better. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, first overall pick. He's not from Jacksonville. So when you ask Mr. Baseball, it depends what parameters you want to put on it, but memorable 3 years on the football field and baseball field for Chipper Jones. He was a number one pick in 1990, and we could have another Jacksonville guy be a number one pick. coming up pretty soon. So we're going to get into that in just a moment. We got a bunch of Austins coming on. Austin Lane is not here today. He is off and will rejoin us on Tuesday when we get back to action. But we do have a couple of Austins coming up here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. By the way, thanks for hanging out with us. All baseball today as we celebrate Jacksonville baseball. And I know there were some technical issues on the AM dial, ESPN 690, in the last half hour. So I think those have been fixed. And as always, you can join us on 10 different platforms, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch with all the video. But also you can stream on ESPN690.com, TuneIn app, Ask Alexa, all those things. So you can always find us here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Everything back up and running on the radio side as well. Well, I mentioned first overall pick. That was Chipper Jones back in 1990. In 2020, some 30 years later, could we have another?
You got to like what you see right out of the gate with Austin Martin. Reached base in 33 straight, led the Southeastern Conference in hitting. And Blade, Paul, and Clark right in the middle, all guys with 60-plus RBIs.
Martin drives the first one high and deep to left. Snyder to the wall. It's gone! One swing, one run.
Well, Austin Martin said, welcome to Omaha, boys. And Vanderbilt won the national championship. They are the reigning champs, and, well, you might be the longest champs ever since the college baseball season got canceled in 2020. Welcome, former Trinity Christian conqueror, Vanderbilt star, and maybe one of the top picks in this year's MLB draft, Austin Martin. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How you doing?
Good. Is it fun to hear some of those highlights?
Yeah, man. Brings back some really good memories.
How fun was that? How good? You guys had such a good team. All the love for Tim Corbin. You guys were awesome last year in Omaha.
It was awesome. I mean, that was the best baseball experience I've ever had in my life. Just everything about that, the dynamics of the team, the season, how everything went it was perfect in my book. I couldn't have put it or wouldn't have wanted it to go any better way.
I was going to ask you about that because, listen, you dream about maybe what's about to happen, right? Get drafted, which you've already been drafted, but this will feel a little bit different perhaps. And you also dream to be on these big stages, whether it's the World Series in big league baseball, whether it's a high school state championship, or whether it's Omaha in the College World Series. And you had such a great week and a half, 2 weeks there. How cool was it to deliver in that kind of moment?
It was awesome. Like you said, I mean, that's every kid's dream just to even make it to Omaha. So to be able to do that, let alone win it and just be able to perform well is, I mean, like I said earlier, you can't ask for anything more.
I'm not going to say you've come out of nowhere, Austin, because everybody who grew up around baseball here and knows baseball in the area knows Austin Martin. I think they do. But it just shows you we're celebrating Jacksonville baseball. There's so many of you guys. I'm not sure when you were playing at Trinity, everybody's like, wow, this guy could be this good. How much better have you gotten in the last 3 years at Vanderbilt? 338 average, 392 average, and you were hitting 377 this year before everything stopped. How much better are you?
A lot better. I think I'm a completely different ball player than I was 3 years ago at Trinity Christian. I think I've matured a lot more, not even just talking about my physical development, but my mental development has completely changed. I think I think different. I just see the game different. I think I understand it a lot better, which has helped shape me into the player that I am right now.
By the way, I think I said 28th round prior. I think it was 37th round in 2017. Did you even think about going professional at that time, or was like, no, I'm going to Vanderbilt?
No, I mean, of course, I mean, like you said earlier, it's every kid's dream to want to get drafted, pursue professional baseball. So that was definitely something that was on my mind. I was a little conflicted with my decision, not knowing what I really wanted to do in my life yet, but it really did. It was really a hard decision, but when it came down to it, Vanderbilt was definitely the right choice and the easier choice to make.
Austin Martin with us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. All right, man. I mean, you could be the number one overall pick in the 2020 Major League Baseball draft. Some people have you ranked as a second prospect. You never know where it falls. What would it mean to you if you were to be drafted number one overall?
I think it would just be awesome just to see how just all your hard work paying off. Yeah, it would definitely be a special moment, but. Yeah, not really looking too much into it right now, but yeah, it would definitely be something that'd be cool.
Does it matter to you? Does it matter if you're number 1 or 3 or 5 or?
Definitely not, man. At the end of the day, I just want to go play ball and just whatever team is willing to invest in me and wants me to be their guy, then I'll be their guy.
By the way, I got to give you a big thanks, man, because I got a little guy. He's like just turned 15. He's 5 foot tall, 90 pounds. I got to look at some folks that aren't like 6'3" and 240 and say, hey, see, you can do this. Not to say you're little, but you're 6 foot tall, 170, and might be the number 1 overall pick in the draft. So I got to give you a little bit of thanks. Could you move to the outfield at the next level? Where do you see yourself?
I mean, that's a good question. Can I move? Yeah. Just depends on the situation of the organization. Wherever they need me to play is where I'm going to play.
Do you have a preference? I mean, you've been an infielder most of your life, right? I think you started to play a little center field this year.
Yeah. I started playing a little bit of center field my freshman year.
Okay, freshman year. Was it quite an adjustment or what?
No, I mean, I feel like being short and, using your athleticism at short, it's kind of an easier transition to just bounce around and play different spots.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was looking at some highlights of you, and I've got, there's highlights of you at second and short and third and all over the place. Just a ball player, of course. How disappointed were you with the pandemic and having the season, this last season at Vanderbilt not happen?
Oh, I mean, it was crazy. I think it hit everybody hard. We were all you gear up for, the spring season for so many months in the fall, and we just got a little taste of it, and it kind of got stripped away from us. So it was definitely sucked. Yeah, it definitely sucked. But at the end of the day, I get to spend a lot more time with my loved ones, so I can't really complain too much.
Yeah, and the weather's been good, man. I know you've been getting the hacks in. Best of luck. We're pulling for you. We can't wait to see what happens in the next few weeks with the Major League Baseball draft. And thanks for jumping in.
All right, man. Appreciate you having me, man. Thank you. Have a good one.
You got it. Austin Martin could be the number 1 overall pick in the 2020 Major League Baseball draft. We go from Austin Martin to another Austin. It's Austin Hayes, who plays for the Baltimore Orioles, played at Jacksonville University. And we have this highlight from Austin.
Noah kicks a deal, swinging a high fly ball to center field. That ball has carry. Back it goes. A leaping grab. Austin Hayes caught it. He took a home run away from Guerrero. What a play by Austin Hayes. Outstanding defensive play by Austin Hayes. He takes a home run away from Guerrero.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome. Perfect timing. Great last step to jump up and take it away.
That's Austin Hayes out in center field making a heck of a catch. And Austin, you know what I loved about that? Man, you pumped your chest a couple of times. You were fired up after that play.
Yeah, everybody gave me a hard time for that. They told me I should act like I've done it before, but my response was I've never done that before, so maybe next time I won't do that.
Yeah, come on, man. Have some fun with it. I love the reaction. That was a great play. You robbed the home run in center field. Hey, thanks for joining us on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. You are actually one outlier here on the show. I'm celebrating Jacksonville baseball. Most of the folks we're having on today are homegrown. You're actually a Daytona Beach guy, so just down the road, but you played at Jacksonville University. And man, I love the trend you're on. You must love it as well. It looks like you're really ready to blossom in the big leagues.
Yeah, it was really fast rise to the big leagues, but the last couple of years I had a lot of injuries and didn't perform so well. So to play at 6 different levels last year and go through 2 injuries and be able to end up in the big leagues in September and get all the opportunities that I did, the way things worked out, it was very unexpected. So it meant a lot to me, to my family, to all the people that have helped me along the way to be able to take advantage of that opportunity.
Austin Hayes with us, former JU player, and now with the Baltimore Orioles, and really a rising star in the Orioles organization here on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Man, 6 different teams. Did you ever remember what zip code you were in?
No, a lot of hotels, a lot of travel, a lot of gas money. It was the craziest year I ever could have anticipated. I had a great spring training and everything was going really well, and I got optioned down, and 2 days after that I dislocated my thumb, and it just things kind of spiraled downhill from there. But the second half of the season I was able to stay healthy, and I performed pretty well in AAA, so I can't complain about how I responded to some of the things I had to deal with last year.
I was going to say, also, how much did that kind of prove a little something to yourself? I mean, I'm sure you thought you were tough, you're tough, all those things, but there's a mental part of that is part of minor league baseball anyway, and really part of big league baseball. You think that will help you going forward?
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to play a longer season. You're going to have to deal with bumps and bruises, and everybody wishes they could play every game and never have to deal with injuries, but everybody has to deal with something here and there. So to be able to respond positively from it and work my way back, it just shows that I can overcome some tough times and just keep pushing through it.
Austin Hayes with us, played at Jacksonville University. How cool is it in the sport of baseball? You know, in football, it's like you almost have to come from the SEC, it feels like. In baseball, it's not like that. I mean, heck, you could probably play Division II baseball. You play JUCO baseball. You can make it to where you are, and Jacksonville University has proven that. How good was JU to you in terms of your growth and now where you are?
Oh, I mean, it was everything for me. I was a high school guy that a lot of people just overlooked for whatever reason. I had a lot of confidence in myself and felt like I could be a Division I player, but it just wasn't my time. And I was able to go on and get to play games and get to play summer from JUCO, and then playing for the DeLand Suns in DeLand, which is I'm from DeLeon Springs, so it was right down the road. I got to stay with my family, and Coach Hayes actually from JU was the only person that really, really believed in me coming out of high school, and I would have loved to have played for him at Seminole. But he got a great opportunity to go back home, his alma mater, and go back to Jacksonville where he's from. So I understood his decision to go to JU, and unfortunately I didn't get to play for him at Seminole State. So when I had a good year there and he asked if I wanted to move up to a Division I level and play for Jacksonville University, it was a no-brainer because he was there when no one else was. So I always felt like that was the guy I wanted to play for, and I'm really glad I made that decision, and I got to go to Jacksonville because I loved every second of it.
That's awesome, man. Austin Hayes with us, Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690, and how much you just itching to get going? How tough is this right now? You should be some 50, 60 games into a season, and there's no ball.
Yeah, it's really tough, but these are the moments where it's very important to stay focused on what we were working for all off season and working for all spring training. Just because all the coronavirus and everything's going on right now, it's not a reason to take a vacation, take time off, anything like that. We got to keep working and stay prepared and stay focused for when the season does start, because we are going to play. So I'll be ready whenever that is.
Man, I got a lot of
just doing everything I can to stay locked in on it.
Absolutely. Best of luck when it does get going. Hopefully that is soon, right after, maybe right around the 4th of July. We'll see what happens with it. I got a lot of former Orioles and Orioles on the show today. We got DJ Stewart coming up a little bit later on. Anything I need to tell him? You got any dirt on DJ?
Nah. I saw a video of him deadlifting like 600 pounds the other day. So I know he's recovering just fine from his ankle surgery. Me and him we basically had the exact same surgery done on our ankles. Mine was in 2018, and then he had his this past off season. But he looks like he's doing really well, looks healthy, and I'm happy to see him getting back to it.
That's awesome. Austin Hayes with us on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. Thanks for jumping in, man. We're look forward to watching you over the next few years with the Baltimore Orioles.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me on.
No problem. Thanks. Austin Hayes with us, and we're going to jump right into Connor Maribel, who's with the Cleveland Indians organization. Sorry to keep you waiting a little bit, Connor. I'm backed up a couple minutes. I got to stay on task. It's the toughest thing I've ever done in my profession over 20 years is get all you guys on in the same afternoon on this radio show, but we appreciate you being patient. 25th round by the Cleveland Indians in 2015. Connor Maribel is a doubles machine, 125 doubles, 36 home runs in the minors and a 266 average. Still in the minors, but hopefully on his way to the big leagues. How you doing, man?
Hey, thanks for having me. I enjoyed listening to Austin. Good stuff.
It's really wild. You guys all know each other, right? To some degree, or have played against each other?
Yeah, I played with Austin for a year. My junior year when I got drafted, he was one of my teammates at Jacksonville.
Yeah, I can't keep up with the years and when everybody was drafted, but even like just this generation of players, whether it's because of perfect game or seeing people at tournaments or now college ball or crossing paths in the minors, don't you guys all kind of have a bit of a fraternity anyway?
Absolutely, Brent. It's a small-knit group. The baseball world is super small. The longer you play and the higher up you get, the smaller that circle gets, too.
Connor Maribel with us on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690 in the Cleveland Indians organization. What's it been like, man? What's professional ball been like for you and some of the successes that you've had at the minor league level? You excited about it?
Oh, absolutely. It's been a dream of mine since since I was a little kid, and I've enjoyed every second of it. And I'm living the dream, playing baseball. Obviously, right now, but training and getting ready for this season. I grew up in a baseball family, so my dad's played at JU, Jacksonville University, and he coached at Wolfson High School, so just grew up a baseball fan.
Scott Maribel, of course. There are so many. You better play baseball if you're a Maribel, right?
That's right. I got my brother over at UNF. He's going back for his last senior season.
Yeah, absolutely. Luke Maribel down at Creekside, part of the family as well. Scott Maribel, somebody told me that I think when he was with the Dodgers, has he told you a bunch of stories? Did he room with Piazza?
That is true. I can confirm that. Yeah, he was roommates with Piazza. He's actually in Piazza's book, if you've ever read that.
Okay, I have not read it, but that's probably where it came from. How many stories does he tell you? Like, or as you were getting into professional baseball, did you ask him a lot about it?
Yeah, just growing up around him all the time, he's telling stories, and that's kind of inspired me and made me passionate about the game as well. I think I wouldn't be where I am right now without him.
I don't want to get you in trouble, Connor Maribel, with us in the Cleveland Indians organization. So I'm not saying, hey, I want out of Cleveland. I'm just saying it's stacked in the outfield. There's a bunch of you guys, like so many young players in the outfield in Cleveland. Is that tough to handle? Does it breed competition? Do you embrace it? What's it like for you?
Exactly. You just try to embrace it. There's a lot of opportunity out there. The guys are young. So you don't have any other guys tied up early on in my career like Michael Brantley and some superstars that you can never break your way. So you just try to stay positive and just let that competition fuel you. And if you get the chance, if someone goes down or you start performing, that opportunity is right there for me. So.
Connor Maribel with us on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690 in the Cleveland Indians organization, of course, out of Jacksonville University. You have played in Akron. They're AA affiliate of the Cleveland Indians, ironically owned by Ken Babby, who owns the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, and he's done a great job up there in Akron with that ball club. How fun is that park to play in with the attendance they get and what they've done with the Akron organization?
Oh, my. So, yeah, it's very similar, obviously, because Babby owns both teams, and I grew up going to the Suns games, and I was a bat boy for the Suns and was just around that atmosphere for a while. And so just going to Akron and playing up there and being able to meet Ken Babby and build a friendship with him, it's just been awesome. I've been there for 3 years, and we draw pretty good crowds up there in Akron as well.
Yeah, well, my research went deep, Connor, but it didn't go that deep. I didn't know you were a bat boy for the Suns.
Fortunately, my dad played in the Dodgers organization, and they were in Jacksonville for a long time. And so his manager in AA was the manager for the Suns back in the early 2000s, around 2004 through 2007. So I got the bat boy for him a couple years.
That makes a lot of sense. That's awesome. Great story from Connor Maribel. All right, I want to finish with this. What is it about all the doubles? I'm pretty sure you led AA in doubles one year. Have you always been a gap hitter like that? Do you want to parlay the doubles into home runs? Tell us a little bit about the power, the extra bases, and why you've kind of become a doubles machine in the minors.
Right. Well, I consider myself a power hitter, even though I don't hit as many home runs or the leader on the team in home runs, because doubles are considered power too. So doubles and triples. So I've always prided myself on getting to second base. My first manager, Travis Fireman, who was a big league all-star for the Indians, managed me, and he said, if you want to make it to the big leagues, find a way to get to second base. So I kind of pride myself in stretching out the extra bases and be able to use all fields, go to left center, and be able to pull the ball too as well.
Connor Maribel, another proud JU guy, Maribel family, big down in St. Johns County at Wolfson as well. And Dad, Scott, played in the minors with the Dodgers organization. Thanks for taking some time, man. We hope you guys get going soon. And I really hope there's minor league baseball so you can keep knocking some doubles in the gap.
Thanks, Brent. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right. That's Connor Maribel with the Cleveland Indians organization. Really doing well. 25th round pick of the Indians back in 2015. Had some great numbers, and it is crowded with the Indians organization in the outfield. So you hope he gets a chance. Can get frustrating when you're putting up some numbers and maybe not getting the call, but hopefully it comes soon enough for Connor Maribel. All right, one more guest before we take a break. And this guy's down in St. Johns County. This guy's a good buddy, and he has some stories to tell. You ever hear of Bryce Harper, Jamison Taillon, Manny Machado? This guy played with him on Team USA. I think it was back in 2009. Welcome, Latson Montgomery, to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Laddie, what's up?
Hey, buddy. How we doing?
Doing great. All right, man. Tell us a little bit about it. What was that experience like for you guys, the Pan Am Games? And now we know, right, there was a recent article, I think The Athletic did, the $750 million draft of 2010. Those were the first 3 picks.
Yeah, man, it was wild. You know, getting the opportunity to represent your country on foreign soil, first and foremost, is once in a lifetime, and kind of getting to be around all those guys before they were all worth hundreds of millions of dollars was quite the experience.
I bet it was. How good were those guys then? Obviously, you were pretty good to be on the team as well, and I'll get into that in a moment. But could you just tell they were going to be mega superstars?
Yeah. I mean, all the exhibition games leading up to it, we were all 17 years old, and we played college teams coming through, and those guys really put on a show. And, it was different because for the first time in a while, they weren't playing just to see how much they can get paid. They were playing for something much bigger. And so they could kind of relax and just kind of let their ability level speak, and it was every time they'd get in the cage or get on the field, it was a show.
How good were you guys as a team? I mean, just roll people?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I think the closest game we played was like a 8-2 game against Cuba. Yeah, it wasn't even close.
Pretty good stuff. Latson Montgomery with us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Played with Machado and Harper and Taillon for that Team USA team back in 2009, and a really good player in his own right out of Creekside High School. In fact, first Division I signee from the baseball program at Creekside. That's a pretty cool honor.
Yeah. I was fortunate to be surrounded by a lot of good people and a lot of good opportunities, and I got to go to the University of Alabama out of high school, and it was a pretty cool experience.
You were telling me the other day there's been 9 home runs hit at Creekside High School. Laddie's got one of them, so I won't make him brag on himself. But a guy by the name of Javi Baez has a couple more, doesn't he?
Yeah, he had 2 in back-to-back at-bats that I'm not sure they've landed yet. They were about 430 to dead center, and he was electric. Everyone kind of knew he had an opportunity to become the dude that he is today.
All right, so you've seen some unbelievable talent, whether it's here or with Team USA. Can you just tell sometimes, and Jacksonville's right up there, right? I mean, you see some really good talent coming out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I think even, last year's draft class in Jacksonville, you were kind of able to see it. You had guys like Tyler Callahan and Nathan Hickey, just to name, a couple, and Hunter Barco, where you can kind of tell they're more seasoned, they're more physical. And I've been able to see a bunch of guys around the country since I was a recruiting coordinator at Chipola that, the guys out of Jacksonville tend to have a little different edge to them that they haven't always had. And I think it's impressive to see the development in the area.
Latson Montgomery with us now, the assistant coach at Creekside High School. How fun is it for you to be able to kind of go full circle? I mean, shoot, you're a young guy still, but to play there, be the first Division I signee, could flat out hit the baseball, go to Alabama, Chipola, play on Team USA, and now be able to coach a lot of the young guys.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Obviously, I get to coach your guy and Ty, and for us and all of us coaches, when our playing time's done, it's our job to kind of give back to the game because it gave so much to us. So, to have the opportunity to kind of help build the next generation of young players out of Jacksonville, makes it easy to put your head on your pillow at night.
All right, man. Well, good work with you and Chris King over there at Creekside and everybody down in St. Johns County. Let me ask you this one more thing. Kyle Parker, was he basically the first guy from St. Johns County in terms of draft and all that, or am I missing somebody?
No, you actually had Paul Fagan not too long before that. I think Fagan was a fourth rounder out of Bartram, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was right there. I think he was at kind of close to maybe right when Bartram opened. Fagan was a pretty high draft pick out of there too.
So be careful now. You don't want to give a little too much love to Bartram Trail, especially Fitz over there.
Well, Fitz is our good buddy, so we'll throw him some bait.
All right, man. Latson Montgomery, thanks for joining us and sharing a little bit about Team USA. Manny Machado, Harper, Tyon. Those must have been fun times, and everybody should check out the article in The Athletic. Thanks for coming on.
All right, thank you, Brent.
All right, that's Latson Montgomery. All right, we are making the rounds. Coming up next, JU baseball coach Chris Hayes will join us a little bit later on. Storm Davis, Bob West, DJ Stewart, and more on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Kuz, how you doing? You're doing a heck of a job calling everybody. Are we going to make it?
I'm sweating.
You're sweating, I know.
I feel like Austin.
I got a little behind there with Austin Martin. We catch up. We go to break. When we come back, we talk more Jacksonville baseball. Appreciate all the guests coming on. Who's your favorite player from the area? Who's your favorite coach? Jump in on social media. We'll talk about it some more.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A hot Friday under partly sunny skies today, 90 to 95 this afternoon with just an isolated storm developing, dropping to around 70 degrees tonight. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Right now, get 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything in the store. Beards Diamonds.
All right, boss. This is the house I've been casing for the last week. It doesn't have safe touch security, and the owners are out for the whole night.
Out for the night? Oh, kind of good to hear that phrase again.
Yeah, it is. Especially for us crooks. Now we get to go back to work.
Yep. All we gotta do is find houses without safe touch security, go around it. What are you doing?
I'm putting on my mask.
You're putting a surgical mask over a ski mask.
Well, the ski mask has holes in it.
All right, whatever.
Boss, I've been wondering, why doesn't everyone have safe touch security? I mean, look at this house. If they had safe touch, we wouldn't even be here.
See, what you're doing right now is called looking a gift horse in the mouth. Listen, Seabiscuit, just follow me and stick to the Crooks or Us motto, stay away from safe touch houses. That's the plan.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number LVA 4188.
Hi everyone, I'm Kim, Client Relations Manager here at Reliant. Reliant has always been focused on the customer experience. Reliant has been a leader in the industry when it comes to using technology to connect with our clients whenever needed. So while everything around us continues to change and other contractors are scrambling to adapt to the new normal, Reliant remains steadfast, ready to serve our clients. Our client coordinators are available to discuss your roofing, solar, and hurricane shutter projects, so give us a call today.
This message is sponsored by the Florida A&M University Medical Marijuana Education and Research Initiative, the Florida Association of Broadcasters, and this radio station.
Where I'm from, marijuana is legal. Can I use it in Florida? Nah, it's illegal here. 20 grams or less is a misdemeanor, and more than 20 grams is a felony. Well, I have epilepsy. Should I try to get a medical marijuana prescription? Now that's legal, but talk to your doctor first to see if it's a qualifying condition and if medical marijuana is even right for you. I will, thanks.
It was one of those miserable summer days around here, 90 degrees, and my air conditioner broke. Second summer in a row that happened to me. So I made a change, and I called Bold City Heating and Air. Why wait until your AC unit breaks like I did and you're sweating like I was? Find out if your house is ready for the heat right now. Call Bold City Heating and Air at 904-379-1648. Or visit boldcityac.com. The hot weather is on its way. It's inevitable. We know it's coming. Bold City Heating and Air is giving you $25 off annual maintenance. What does that mean? What do you get? Bold City Heating and Air will service, clean, and test your system to ensure it's working efficiently and will keep you comfortable this summer. All of that for $70. Take care of your family. Take care of your AC unit. Take care of you. Book your maintenance service now and save. Visit boldcityac.com or call 904-379-1648 to schedule. Save now and beat the heat with Bold City Heating and Air.
Diamonds Direct celebrates the reopening of our local economy with our most amazing offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with no money down on anything and everything. Yes! Now for a limited time, including Memorial Day, Diamonds Direct is doing our part to help you get back to normal and celebrate your love like never before. Our prices and values are the best ever. Our showcases are fully stocked, and we're letting you buy now with nothing down, and you can spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. Been putting off that engagement? Get her a $6,000 designer ring now and pay just $100 a month. Did you miss celebrating that anniversary? How about a $3,000 Diamond Eternity Band for just $50 a month? Summer is the season for love, and we're doing all we can to make this summer one to remember with exceptional values, extra selection, and the most exceptional finance opportunity. 5 years, 0 interest on approved credit. And yes, we are open Memorial Day. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
These days, the whole world is on the internet 24/7, on their phones, at work, even at the dinner table. It's the internet all the time. So why, when it's time to sell your home, does your traditional agent charge you 6% to list it on the MLS to other agents instead of targeting buyers directly online? That's why Rex was born. For a fee starting at 2%, Rex sells your home where buyers are looking, online, optimized by data-driven marketing, not the MLS. To get started, visit sellwithrex.com. That's sellwithrex.com. With Rex, selling or buying a home has never been easier. Price your home, get a virtual consultation, visit online open houses and showings, all from the comfort of your home with a few clicks of a button. Want to learn more? Visit sellwithrex.com or just use your phone and call 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. License number CQ1057788. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Been feeling a little cooped up lately? Well, you should buy a boat. Want to get away from people for a while? You should buy a boat. Been dying to get back on the water? You should buy a boat. Want to finance up to 100% of a new boat and get 60 days of no payments? Then you should buy a boat. With the help of One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. For a limited time, you can also get a free entry into the Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament with your boat loan. Apply online at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA. Isn't it time you bought a boat?
This is a CMG Build Jacks business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for all. Business across North Florida, big and small, are adjusting to meet your needs and give you great deals to build back. Like George Moore Chevrolet, 0% APR for 84 months. See dealership for other incentives. Please support local stimulus. Email buildjax@cmg.com. That's buildjax@cmg.com. We're in this together, and together we will win.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Land of Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Check out our podcast on all platforms. Just search ESPN 690. I'm not going to tell you to subscribe to our podcast because I'm not that type of person. I'm not that desperate. But no, seriously, subscribe to our podcast. Thanks.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I think with us, it's it's a fluid situation, obviously, but from a player's perspective, my perspective, I'm for whatever gives us the safest chance to get back out on the field as fast as possible and gives the fans the best product that we can provide. And so I don't think it has to have a number of games on it. I'm up to playing as many games as we can in a safe way. Like, that's where I'm at. So if it's a 100 days we have access to, then double headers and less days off, as long as, we could probably talk about expanded rosters. Like, there's ways where the players and MLB can partner together to get our fans the product that they want, and we want to give them.
Action Sports Jacks recently caught up with Daniel Murphy from Inglewood and Jacksonville University, 13th round selection out of JU in the 2006 draft, NLCS MVP in 2015, All-Star in 14, 16, and 17, 298 average, 135 home runs, and outside of Chipper Jones, I think he's earned more money than anybody else that's come out of Jacksonville. At least from the research I could do, 10 years now in the big, $73 million earned for Daniel Murphy. You probably don't want me to share that part of it. Murph is heavily involved in the talks between Major League Baseball and what's going on with the Colorado Rockies. So he respectfully didn't want to get into that part of it, and I know he's got a lot going on. Either that or somebody I know roadblocked him from coming on because well, he might have done that too. I'm not sure. But anyway, we love catching up with Murph. He's joined the program before. And I think a lot of responses here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, when I put out the question of who is Mr. Baseball in Jacksonville, the answers, if I had to tally them up, Daniel Murphy's name came about quite a bit. Now, he wasn't a star from what I understand back in the high school days, but he emerged as one at JU and now in the big leagues. I would say a late bloomer of sorts. All right, underrated now as a Mr. Baseball candidate, and maybe the next one along with Murphy. If we ask this question again in 5 to 10 years, we'll see what he does with that JU baseball program, but he's off to a heck of a start, is our next guest. We're celebrating local baseball, and few things say local baseball like Chris Hayes, the JU baseball coach. Wolfson High School, he coached. That great team I'm going to ask him about. Obviously played at JU, coaching at JU, drafted a couple of times. Hello, Chris Hayes. How you doing?
Don't you put that on me, Brent. All right? Don't you do that.
Hey, man.
Mr. Baseball. Now, Mr. Baseball is Daniel Murphy, and there's no question about it. I mean, that guy's done more for baseball in the city of Jacksonville. Just from a notoriety standpoint, obviously nationally, but more importantly, what he's done in the community that nobody knows about. Yeah. I mean, that guy loves this town. And that's the one thing that, I appreciate you doing this today. This is awesome. I mean, it's been fun listening. And, but what Daniel and what everybody else on this, on this show today, and for a lot of guys that aren't, they love Jacksonville. And they love living here. They love being a part of it. They love being a part of the culture. And the fact that Murph is as willing and giving as he is to the community, to me, is what separates it from everybody else.
I think you just brought up a great point, too, and it's the stuff we don't hear about with Daniel Murphy, that he's been tremendous. And I mentioned the money that he's earned. Well, he's given a lot of dollars back to the community. He's done great things over at JU as well. He's given back to Inglewood as well. So he should be celebrated. And I find it unbelievable when you're looking up stuff about guys, and we know what Chipper did, right? And Baez, of course. And now recently, Howie Kendrick, what he did last year to win a World Series with the Washington Nationals, and then you remember the magic of 15 and Daniel Murphy. I mean, it's an unbelievable story. Nobody would have predicted this, though, when he was back in high school, right, Chris?
I don't know. I mean, obviously there was a lot of guys that passed on, a lot of guys that overlooked Daniel, but competing against him, I sat in the other dugout competing against him with some pretty good arms. I mean, Eric Hurley and Billy Butler, both of them are running it 88 to 93 with what Billy had a breaking ball and Eric had a slider, and nobody wanted to hit those guys, and Daniel seemed to not have much of a problem with them. So he was doing it at a young age. It's just nobody saw it.
I got it.
And even at JU, I mean, look, 3 years, everybody questioned what position he was going to play, but he could always hit. And that was the one thing Daniel could always do. It's just his hand-eye coordination, the ability to put ball to barrel. He's recognized the pitch out of the hand sooner than pretty much anybody I've ever worked with. He and Billy both. Billy Butler was one of those guys that you saw it out of the hand. He saw it out of the hand so early. He could recognize the pitch so early, and his in-the-zone discipline is what separates them. And that's the same thing with Daniel. Those two guys alone. But yeah, man, 13th round. Are you kidding me?
Amazing.
13th round. I mean, I was probably 400 picks ahead of him before he went, and he's going to have a pretty darn good baseball career.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. He's hitting, I think, 298 in his career. And listen, when I said that, by the way, would anybody ever expect this? I mean it as a compliment because what he's done to his game. I mean, baseball's the great late bloomer sport anyway, even in the big leagues. And I think Murphy's an example of that. I mean, he's become a star over the last handful of years and earned every single bit of it. Chris Hayes with us, Jacksonville University baseball coach, but the roots run deep for Jacksonville baseball with Chris Hayes. I mean, unbelievable. Was that Wolfson team? The question I put out earlier this week and got a lot of responses now. 1988 Sandalwood is standing up right now. They're waiting for what I'm going to say. But was that 2004 Wolfson team the best ever from this area?
I mean, there's some really good talent on that team. Not to mention those two guys at the top, but then you got Division I talent on that team, and the coaching staff was phenomenal. And actually, it got better when I left because in 2004 I actually ended up going over to JU. So, that group was pretty special. But I can speak from experience now. That '88 team was pretty special.
Was it?
Like those guys. I was an eighth grader, and you knew those guys. Those guys were. They were big leaguers in Jacksonville, and I mean, of course, there were a couple of big leaguers on that squad anyway. But that was an unbelievably talented group, one that I don't know that you could ever duplicate. Again, it has to be. It's more like a travel baseball team before travel baseball ever existed. I mean, you got a guy. Look, you got a guy sitting on the bench, keeping everything warm. That played in the big leagues for a long time. They did irrelevant. I mean, he's not even really in the mix there. And that guy, he's just a pup and not even playing on the JV squad. But those guys, the Johnny Farrells and the Tracy Wilds and those guys, man, they're warriors. I mean, in my mind, when you talk about Jacksonville baseball.
That's awesome. Nobody better maybe to talk about it with than Chris Hayes. He's seen a lot of it in the Jacksonville area. By the way, Chris Hayes, drafted a couple times, made it up to Double-A, good player in his own right. He's not going to talk about that much, so I'll tell you about that. And obviously doing a great job with the JU Dolphins. What is it about Jacksonville, man? Why? I mean, this is unbelievable. I'm from Rhode Island. We have Rocco Baldelli. And like that guy could be king of Rhode Island because he was drafted in the top 5. But that's it. Like this around here, this is the reason I'm doing the show. I think it's almost underappreciated, all these guys we're mentioning, because the baseball is just so darn good and has been for decades.
It's something about this area up here. And it's the one thing that has stayed consistent is Jacksonville baseball. All of us have got a little chip on her shoulder. And no matter how talented the guys are that we're playing against from other areas, we've all got a little chip, and we all play. We may not be as polished, we may not be as pretty, but we're inside. We've got a lot more, and we all play with a little bit of we're kind of a little mean when we play that game, and I think Laddie said it pretty well just recently. And there's an edge to the guys. And it's not always pretty, and it's just not that way. It's not always the cleanest, but man, oh man, is it tough. And that's the one thing that leaving Jacksonville, playing professional for a couple of years, and then coaching at the professional level for a couple of years, and then coming back. That's what you see. And then recruiting. I mean, obviously recruiting's national, so I've got to go all over the country and get a feel for the different personalities of the areas, and nothing duplicates this North Florida area, man. Yeah, and that's man, it's special.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Hey, I'm just going to give you a sense. This is what it's been like for me for the last week or so when I said, hey, let's do this. Let's celebrate Jacksonville baseball. I just got a text from Kyle Malbesh. Man, I forgot Chris Roberts from Middleburg High School. Second rounder out there, first rounder out of FSU, played 10 years in minor leagues. Big time name here. Lives in Orlando now. You know how many times I got that this week? And then Renzo Shepard says, hey, tell Hayes I said hello. That's my favorite coach. See that? Renzo back there in the Wolfson days.
How about that, man? He's a heck of a player. Good, better person. I mean, he's a great player, but, man, what an unbelievable person he is. So I appreciate it.
That's pretty cool. And listen, you've recently had a ton of success at JU with getting guys like in the professional ranks. We just had Austin Hayes on. Thank you, by the way, for helping get him on. He's a rising star. I think he was too humble to admit it, but, I mean, Baltimore thinks very highly of him. And you've got guys that were drafted last year. You're going to have more. You are finding the talent, and a lot of it right here.
Guys, I mean, guys want to be a part of what we're doing over at JU, man. They do. And it's awesome. It's a credit to TA. It's a credit to Terry Alexander and the legacy that he has built at JU. I mean, Jacksonville University isn't anywhere close to what it is without Terry Alexander and what he was able to put together when he shouldn't have. JU existed as a university, as a college, but they didn't necessarily put a ton of emphasis on athletics. They really sank a lot of energy and resources into the academic side of things. And TA took that job and made it more than what it should have been, and made that program more than what it should have been. building the facility, finding ways to be creative, never really accepting the answer, the word no, just using that as kind of a speed bump. What TA built is the reason why these guys like Austin and Daniel and Connor, and Mike Bauman and Chris Gow and Mike Casala and the local guys and John Casala, the local guys want to continue to keep coming to JU. And it's because of that guy, man. It really is.
Yeah, and we brought up his name a couple times already. We need to continue to do that, and it's in good hands right now. Chris Hayes, I hate to rush you off, but we got Bob West coming up next, and then I got a break. I wish I could spend another hour with you, but thanks for joining us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Appreciate you, Brent. Thank you.
You got it. That's Chris Hayes, JU baseball coach. That was brilliant stuff, what he was saying. And he's like an encyclopedia for Jacksonville baseball. And so is this guy, legendary coach at Bishop Kenny High School. We're talking Papelbons and Chapmans of coach those guys and more. Bob West at Bishop Kenny. Say hello to the legendary Bob West. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great, Brett. Thank you for having me.
All right, I got to go over the numbers here. 532 wins in 23 years, one state championship back in 2002, 10 trips to the Final Four, 16 district titles. Oof. How was that 2002 team?
Really good. And that was one of those teams that came out of nowhere. The ones that you don't expect it are the ones that come up and do something special for you.
Bob West with us, former Bishop Kenny coach. Just named the field after you. How was that?
Oh, it was unbelievable. I still, to this day, can't believe it. It was such a great day. As a matter of fact, it was probably the last activity that went on in the city before everything started shutting down. And so it was truly a special day. So many people, so many ex-players and coaches that came out, and it was just they really did a fantastic job, and I'm blessed to have my name out there.
Bob West with us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 as we continue to celebrate local baseball. We had Don Suriano on earlier, Mike Boswell, and when you think of big names in coaching in the area, this is one of them right here, Bob West from Bishop Kenny. What does it mean all the years later, now that you're not coaching, to see those guys come back, to see what players have to say to you, not just have the name or being in a Hall of Fame? I know those are unbelievable things and great accolades, but it's got to be the relationships and kind of seeing them as men now that you had a little bit to do with that.
Oh yeah, the whole atmosphere and the rewards that I got are with what I know those guys now as friends. Some of them are coaches, some of them are doctors, some of them are lawyers, some of them are professional baseball players. I just, I'm blessed that I was around those type of people, and maybe had a little influence on their discipline and their hard work. That was something that just about anybody in the program that wanted to be a part of the program had to buy into. Was some discipline, and also that you're gonna have to go out there every day and pay your dues and put forth the work.
Bob West with us here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, legendary coach from Bishop Kenny. All right, Bob, I'm going to end with this. I think there are so many good players. Sometimes I'll go watch a high school game or a travel ball game, and I'm like, I don't even see a lot of separation. I don't know what good is. You obviously know what good is and was. Did you know Papelbon, Matt Gamble, Ben Gamble, Darren O'Day, those kind of guys? Did you know those guys were destined for big league careers?
They had their own ways about them. It's funny because with Jonathan Papelbon, for us, he didn't want to pitch. He wanted to play first base and hit. And matter of fact, that's when he signed with Mississippi State. That was his forte. He did pitch a little bit for us, but that wasn't his thing until he got out to Mississippi State and did those things. Travis, on the other hand, there was something about him that he always able to get that out, always able to beat out that one hit. And then you had the Gambles that they could just hit, and you looked at them, and then they would play defense. They would do spectacular things on defense that were special. Kevin Witt, first round pick of the Toronto Blue Jays that we had. Kevin is, from the day he walked out on the field, you just knew that this guy was different than the rest of them. I used to tell people sometimes you can just watch kids play catch, and when you get to see them play catch, you can kind of tell what type of player they are even before they hit and do anything else. Just their actions and their movements, and all of those guys were special, and they each found their own way to get to the big leagues, and we're so proud of them. I'm just lucky to having been a part of their lives.
Well, you certainly were, Bob West. And, I'm glad you mentioned Kevin Witt, because I'm sure he gets forgotten around here. That was back, I think, in like 76, late 70s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And then Tony Ritchie is a guy I think that gets overlooked, too. Or somebody brought him up to me the other day, said, man, that guy was awesome. Played at Florida State as well. So you've got some underrated guys, too, because you've had so many great players.
Well, I tell you, Tony was special. And he was another one that from the time he walked out there, he was just one of those guys that when he swung a bat, he just never swung and missed. And lucky enough, went to FSU and did really, really well, and got a chance to get drafted and play quite a few years. And the funny thing about Kevin's son, he has a son who's a senior this year. He plays in Houston, Texas, who's projected in the top 150 picks.
I thought that was him. Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if Kevin, of course, signed out of high school, and it'll be interesting to see if that follows through with Dad or not. But those guys are just, even today when you get to talk to them and meet with them, and they just, for me, it's a great thing for them to be around to bring up their high school days. And hopefully we made a difference.
You absolutely did, Bob West. I've had so many comments on social media about you and your career and your impact on Bishop Kenny and baseball in the area. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. And by the way, the tradition continues at Bishop Kenny. Look out for Colby Halter, likely a draft pick coming up. Even though the draft has been shrunk down, he could be a big leaguer soon enough, or at least professional soon enough if he doesn't go the college route. Bob West, thanks for jumping on for a few minutes. I wish we had longer, but I love the 5 or 6 minutes.
Brett, thank you so much.
You bet. Bob West from Bishop Kenny joining us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. By the way, I've got a ton of names, folks. Brian Busher, Austin Slater, Bill Terry, Hall of Famer. Actually lived in Jacksonville after his playing career, not really from here. Desi Relaford. Vince Coleman, really tried to get Vince on, had no luck, but from Raines High School, 4th all-time in stolen bases. We'll have Billy Butler a little bit later. Papelbon, Gamble, Darren O'Day, Chris Barnwell, went to Nice and Flagler. Murph, of course, Tyler Callahan, got drafted last year by the Cincinnati Reds in the 3rd round. Donnie DeWeese out of UNF. Kyle Parker, we mentioned. Adam Wainwright, over the border in Georgia. Michael Jones from Wolfson and the Atlanta Braves, of course. Derek Nunley, drafted in 1999 out of Inglewood, played with Brett Myers that year. We mentioned Austin Slater. Mike Clevenger from Wolfson. Oh, man, I got more names. I'm going to use all my research today. I've got an hour left to do it. Storm Davis joins us next on ESPN 690.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Charles, good talking to you. Take care, buddy.
Hey, man, make sure you tell your sweet mother. I sent her a text yesterday for Mother's Day. That lady is a saint. Thank you. Tell your fat daddy absolutely nothing.
Okay, thank you, Charles. I appreciate it.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
I think you're going to like the sound of this. You're free to enjoy Memorial Day weekend. Free to shop in person at Arlington Toyota. Free from payments until 2021. That's no payments until 2021 on a new and used purchase this Memorial Day weekend at Arlington Toyota. And with every new and used purchase from Arlington, you get the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club packed with rewards, savings, and benefits like a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles on new purchases. Want even more good news? How about Arlington's 30-day exchange exchange policy. That's 30 days to love your ride or exchange it. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your beacon scores from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. As always, your safety is Arlington's top priority, and they're closely following all CDC guidelines for your total peace of mind. This Memorial Day weekend, enjoy no payments on new and used till 2021, thanks to our friends at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Memorial Day savings for full details.
You grab those dishes out of the dishwasher and they're not clean. Grab a drink of water and it really doesn't taste good. The Martindales got tired of doing that and washing the dishes again. So we called CGC Water. One of the best ways to take care of your family is having clean, purified water. With a Kinetico system from CGC Water, you can remove up to 99% of contaminants. I've known the good folks at CGC Water for years now. They do it the right way. The team at CGC is taking extra precautions with in-home visits, offering no-contact sales and service appointments. And CGC has extended their current promotion. Buy a Kinetico Premier Softener and save 50% on a K5 reverse osmosis drinking water system. That's the one I have. Like I found out, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. It's free to try it. CGC Water will test your tap water so you can better understand what is in your water. No obligation to buy anything. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Serving Northeast Florida and Southeastern Georgia and my family. You can be next. CGC Water Treatment, your local independent Kinetico dealer.
Do you hear something in the attic?
Where do you want to eat tonight?
Why won't the lights work?
Where should I take my car for engine work?
Do you think I need to get this spot checked out?
Where did these bugs come from?
When are we going to paint the house?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Chronic or acute pain doesn't just disappear during a crisis, and neither does Cora Physical Therapy. Throughout this time, Cora remains dedicated to your health and safety. With 15 Jacksonville area clinics, Cora Physical Therapy provides quality care wherever you're most comfortable. In clinic, where we disinfect after every touch. Telehealth gives you remote access to licensed therapists, or Cora therapists will even come to you. We are grateful for our patients' trust and our clinicians' bravery. What matters most is your health. So Cora provides care anywhere you prefer it. Learn more at coraphysicaltherapy.com.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
Where is this water coming from?
Who will deliver us lunch?
Why is the air conditioner blowing hot air?
Where can I get a tire fixed?
Do you know someone who can get marker stains out of the carpet?
What do we need to do to get the pool ready?
These and hundreds of other questions are still being asked daily. Will the answer be your business or your competitors? Don't leave it to chance. Let Cox Media Group Jacksonville make you the answer to their questions. Contact us at 245-8732 or email buildjax@cmg.com and let's build Jax.
Hi, I'm Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park. We're all about saving you money, especially right now, where we all need great deals to put smiles on our faces. So check out a hot new Silverado and save up to $9,500, or a new Equinox crossover and save up to $6,500. Plus, you can delay the first payment for up to 4 months. Check out the deals at GordonChevy.com, arrange for home delivery, curbside pickup, or visit us in our freshly cleaned showroom. We are here to accommodate. Gordon Chevy and the money-saving end of Blanding in Orange Park. Chevy, find new roads.
Tire Outlet, the local name in tires that you know and trust, is now offering mobile installation. Tire Outlet mobile installation is safe, no hassle, quick, and same day at your home or office. A Tire Outlet professional will bring and install your tires right on site while staying safely distanced. The only thing easier than getting new tires with mobile installation is making the appointment. Call 904-600-0089 to reserve an appointment. Tire Outlet is part of the First Coast community and is in this with you.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you.
Wolfson Equipment, Consumers Electronics and Appliance, Signature Collision, Physical Therapy and Balance, Palatka Golf Club, Ferguson's Boat Works.
If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
Whether you're working remotely, taking web classes, binge-watching TV, or gaming, Dell is here to help you find the right tech. From XPS and Alienware computers that are redefining what's possible with 10th-gen Intel Core processors to the latest top-brand electronics, our seamless tech solutions will help keep you connected. Plus, get free shipping. Call us today at 800-BY-DELL. That's 800-BY-DELL.
Get your vehicle ready for Memorial Day weekend. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts for 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic motor oil and a Wix filter for just $33.99. Plus, get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate. Protect your engine and keep it running smooth with Valvoline full synthetic. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
333 feet down the left field line, then 364 over toward left center. The deepest part of the ballpark is 410, just to the left of straightaway center. Here's the pitch. Davis swings and he grounds the ball, base hit up the middle, and Glenn Davis has the first ever Oriole hit at Camden Yards.
I wonder if they're going to give him the ball. I mean, historically, if you had the first hit in this ballpark, wouldn't you want to save it?
I certainly would, Allie.
I love it. I love the calls. We'll have some more calls coming up. That's Glenn Davis, Jacksonville's Glenn Davis, with the first ever hit at Camden Yards. Found that during the research. I tell you what, this is like one big research paper. And it's one of those deals where, remember in school, like you maybe didn't give all the effort you needed to all the time, but then there was that one time you're like, man, I really put a whole lot of work into this. I hope this comes out good. And it's like, man, but it's still probably not going to come out great. That's what this day is for me. I put in a lot of research, which has been so much fun. I feel like I'm back in school learning all about Jacksonville's history in baseball, and I have no idea if it's coming out any good because we are rolling guests in and out. And right now, we are welcomed here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. We're joined by Storm Davis, not Glenn Davis, Storm Davis. And I'm assuming most people think you're brothers, but you're not.
No. Hey, thanks for having me on, Brent. No, we went to high school together. We spent 10th, 11th, and 12th grade at University Christian, and those were a lot of fun. Those were some fun years. And lo and behold, we got back together in pro ball in 1990. I think it's 92. So it was those are great memories.
Absolutely. Storm Davis with us. Glenn Davis, by the way, just a little bit more on him. Second place to Mike Schmidt in the MVP voting while with Houston. He now lives in Columbus, Georgia. At least that's the last thing I had read about Glenn Davis. And I don't know if he has that ball, Storm. Do you know?
I have no idea. I was in the bullpen that day, so I'm not really sure that he does. But Glenn and I talk every now and again. He's very busy. He's a businessman, and he has a lot of things he's doing in the Columbus area. So we talk a little bit here and there.
Well, you have been busy over the years as well. Fantastic career, and I think the only two-time World Series champ from Jacksonville. Am I correct on that?
Golly, Brent, you're the first person that's ever asked me that question. Man, I haven't really even thought about that till you asked me that. I was just honored to be on some really good teams around some really good players and coaches and managers. And I just hope I represented Jacksonville well. That's all I was thinking when I was doing it.
I think you did. 83 Orioles, World Series champion, 89 Athletics. And, of course, that was the team that had some characters on it. McGuire, Canseco, Henderson. Now, those guys were a little bit younger, McGuire and Canseco at the time. But were they characters still, Storm?
Well, Hosey and Mark had a polar opposite personalities, but the team gelled very well, and I think a lot of that had to do with Tony La Russa. Tony did a marvelous job and that's one of probably the most important thing I would say. Being a manager in the big leagues is being able to get along or find a way to get the clubhouse to come together for a common goal, and that's easier said than done. And he did a great job with that. We had some big personalities, and we had a lot of big egos in there, which is in every big league clubhouse and with every player. But he did a marvelous job of getting us in the right lane, so to speak. And we won a lot of ball games those years.
Absolutely. He's one of the best to ever do it in the managerial ranks. And obviously in 89, that was the World Series earthquake out there in California, which is one of the crazier but distinct moments in really sports history. And as I was researching that a little bit, Storm, there's a picture of you holding your baby daughter out on the field. I would assume now she'd be 32 years old?
That's correct, Brent. And she's getting ready to have her second son here in another week or two. So I can't really describe to you it kind of went by. It was slow but fast. I don't know how to. It was a weird day. We were in a World Series that culminates in a fantastic season, and then we have an earthquake. And then in the panic of it all, you're trying to find your family. And I knew where the family section was. The park was Candlestick at the time, or what it was called. And I located them, got them down. And it so happened that as Angie, my wife, handed me Aaron, someone snapped a photo, and it's become. I can't tell you how many I've signed over the years, but it was a wonderful memory to look back on for us as a family. But it was also very tragic. The people that lost their lives, and it disrupted life tremendously in the Bay Area for quite a while.
Absolutely. Storm Davis with us here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Two-time World Series champ, played for a long time in the big leagues. In 1984, 225 innings pitched, 14 wins, 3.12 ERA, 113 career wins, 4.02 career ERA, over 1,000 strikeouts. And since then, you were the head coach at Bowles, pitching coach with the Jumbo Shrimp just a couple of years ago. Are you still with Mike Jones over there at Episcopal helping him out?
I am, Brent. I'm also the director of the Blue Claws Foundation, which is a branch of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We're an 8U to 12U. Our park's over there behind Hodges Mazda on Phillips Highway. So I'm the director over there, which means I just try to stay out of the way and make sure things are running as smooth as it can, particularly in the current situation we find ourselves in. But yes, Mike has allowed me to come over, and I'm with a wonderful staff at Episcopal. We have great kids, and we were having a fantastic year this year, and I think we would have done some really special things on the field until we were slowed up here a little bit. But we have most of those kids back next year, and we're looking forward to that climb again.
How about this, too? I'll just give a little. Now, Mike Jones isn't from the Jacksonville area, but the coach at Episcopal and well-respected in the area. He won a World Series with the Kansas City Royals. That would have been in 85. That would have been against the St. Louis Cardinals and Vince Coleman, who won Rookie of the Year, who also is from Jacksonville. That will tell you how deep the ties run in Jacksonville baseball. It's pretty amazing, isn't it, Storm? All of you guys that have come from here and what you've been able to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, and that just goes back to the wonderful coaching we had in high school. This is a tremendous area for high school baseball. I say this every time I'm asked about it. I mean, I go back into the 70s whenever I actually was playing high school baseball, and I've coached all this time through spent 8 years in pro ball as in player development with 3 different organizations, but most of my coaching has been at the high school level. And when we go out of town or into tournaments, or we have we're solid here. We've got wonderful coaches. our little leagues, our middle schools, our development system up here is fantastic, and we're as good or better than anybody in our state when it comes to high school baseball.
Storm Davis with us on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. And I tell you what, it's pretty cool for those kids to learn from guys like you, and we appreciate you giving back to the game here in Jacksonville. Always good to have you. Thanks for stopping in, Storm. We appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. Thanks for having me.
You bet. That's Storm Davis, Jacksonville's University Christian, and maybe overlooked as University Christian, of course, when they had Storm Davis and Glenn Davis on their baseball team. They make it to the bigs. They're still on the team with Baltimore Orioles. How cool is that? I want to give you a couple of stats that I found, and I hope they're accurate, but what I looked up in terms of guys that were drafted, University Christian, 12 players drafted over the years, 2 big leaguers. Bishop Kenny, 25 players drafted, 7 big leaguers. Bowles, 19 players drafted, 4 big leaguers. Inglewood, 17 drafted, 3 big leaguers. And by the way, they had Rasheed Mathis, too, who played in the NFL for a long time and was a darn good one, but he also played a little baseball. Wolfson, 10 players drafted, 3 big leaguers, 3 first-rounders, Hurley, Butler, and Roger Danson. Parker had 15 players drafted, 2 big leaguers, Brian Busher and Jim Lewis. 8 of them, by the way, were drafted from 2000 to 2003 at Parker. And Sandalwood, 21 drafted, 6 Major League Baseball guys, and 3 more made it to AAA. So that will tell you. I hope I have some of those right. I'm sure maybe there are some that were missing, but just some stats. I mean, think about it. Just at those 7 schools that I mentioned, all the guys that made it to the bigs, but all the guys that were drafted had a chance to make it to the bigs from Jacksonville. Man, the talent is rich, and that includes a current professional baseball player who joins us right now from the Bowles School from Florida State. Welcome in DJ Stewart, who I heard from Austin Hayes has recently been squatting 600 pounds coming off microfracture ankle surgery. I guess you're going well now. Everything's healthy.
Yes, sir. Doing well. Appreciate Hazy letting everybody know that I'm doing well. But it's been a bit of a recovery, but feeling good, ready to start the season as soon as they let us go.
Yeah, man. Well, you can go hit a little bit at Baker's. I know you're doing some work over there and use those cages. How hard is this your clock is off, isn't it? I mean, you're supposed to be playing ball and you're not. So is it tough to stay fresh?
Yeah, it's not really necessary. It's been a little bit easier for me, I will say, because I didn't really have an off season because I was coming off that surgery in October. So my off season consisted of therapy all the time, and I didn't really get to train like I wanted to train and usually train to get ready for the season. So this has kind of been like my type of off season, but it also is strange because as baseball players and athletes, we're always given these certain timetables and dates. We know when we're supposed to be somewhere and what we're supposed to be doing and to get ready for that. So that aspect has been weird, and just kind of stay ready as much as you can, not knowing when that day is going to come.
DJ Stewart with us here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 as we continue to celebrate local baseball. Hey, DJ, doesn't it say it all? I just had a guy that played for the Baltimore Orioles, Storm Davis. Glenn Davis played for the Baltimore Orioles. You are in the Orioles organization. Austin Hayes is in the Orioles organization. Heck, you're all from Jacksonville, man. I mean, that shows you right there in a nutshell how good this area has been for baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people all the time that when we get to levels like this, we've kind of already had a little bit of a firsthand look at it just because of the talent that we play in, that we come from. It just in Jacksonville it's so rich, and you're facing guys who play at that next level, and just to be a part of that, it's a really special thing.
Microfracture on the ankle, recovered, cleared for spring training, now trying to get back to work and hoping for a season. DJ Stewart with us. You were drafted in 2012 by the Yankees, 28th round. Did you consider going?
I did. The Yankees were actually one of my favorite teams growing up.
I'm sorry about that.
It's kind of hard to not be a Yankee fan when they're winning all the time, and then just me kind of Jeter watching him, even though we don't play the same position, just the way that guy went about the game and played the game. So it was actually very, very hard for me to turn down the Yankees just because I watched them and like their organization and stuff. But I ultimately decided to go to Florida State just because I love that program even more, and just wasn't the right time for me to my professional career.
Absolutely, man. I think it paid off for you, right? You end up getting picked 25th overall in the first round from Baltimore 3 years later. I think you made the right decision. Hey, man, keep swinging it. We look forward to following you in Austin with the Baltimore Orioles organization, and best of luck as you come back from that ankle surgery.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me.
You bet. DJ Stewart, Florida State, Bulls, and now the Baltimore Orioles. That guy can flat out stick it, and he is strong. Fun to watch. Next guest. By the way, this is guest number 21 on the show today because this was not planned, but we had him jump on in because I said I need a little more Sandalwood on the show, so we bring in John Farrell right now, who gave me a complete rundown on that 88 Sandalwood Saints team. That was a heck of a ride back then, John.
Sure was, man. We had a pretty solid lineup through and through. There wasn't many outs in that lineup.
Absolutely. I'm going to read it real quick. Let's see how fast I can go. T.R. Lewis. By the way, you guys went 27-3, state champs in 88. T.R. Lewis, third baseman, fourth rounder, signed to play at Mississippi State, opted for pro ball, Baltimore Orioles. Keith John, shortstop, 14th round, opted to play at University of Mississippi, 6th round out of college, MLB with Boston in 98 and the Cardinals. Tracy Wilds, 30th round, 89, played at the University of Georgia, then JU. John Farrell right here with us right now, catcher and outfielder, 4th round out of high school, opted to play at Miami, transferred to JUCO, then a first-round pick in 91 of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Richard Banez, I hope I'm saying that right. Second baseman, West Point. Jeff Hartless, catcher, JUCO, then University of North Florida. Hilly Hathaway, that's a name people know. 18th round, opted for JUCO, then signed pro. MLB with the Angels. Paul Martin, JUCO, 30th round, San Diego Padres. Jason Smith, JUCO. And other notables from 87 to 91 include Jeremy Matthews, Desi Relaford, who everybody knows, who had a fantastic career in the big leagues. Wow, man. I mean, when you said that, I was like, John, you got to come on. I mean, I'm not sure anybody's ever seen that kind of talent around here over that stretch of time.
Yeah, Sandalwood was pumping out, players left and right back from the early 80s all the way through the mid-90s, and they're still doing it over there now. But it seemed like that Charlie Matthews, he had a special way of motivating us over there, and I think Chris Hayes hit it right with the chip on our shoulder. We didn't care who was in the other dugout, and we went out and we tried to punish them as best we could every single day, and I think that was just the way that our mindset was, and that's the way I was taught to play the game.
So is that clearly the best team ever from here? Does 2004 Wolfson rival it? Are there some Bowles teams or Kenny teams that might rival it? Or is Sandalwood taking the cake?
I believe Sandalwood takes the cake in that 88 team just based on the lineup and the schedule we played. We didn't shy down from playing guys and facing just about everybody's number one every time we went out there. So for me, it's a Sandalwood 88 team is probably the best one. But I was with that 2004 Wolfson club and with Butler and Hurley and we were really good, and those two guys were so special as far as the game is concerned. Both of them had immeasurable talents, in high school. And but through and through, our lineup that we had in Sandalwood in 1988, and we again went 27-3, but through and through, there weren't many outs. Like I said earlier, we really went out and we had every facet of the game. We had fast. We had base stealers. We had power with Tracy Wilds and Hilly Hathaway. Hilly was a heck of a hitter in high school also. So we punished the ball, and but we also had a couple of really good arms. Tracy Wilds was probably the premier arm we had. He was a bulldog. Hilly from the left side, he was upper 80s, touching 90. Back in the 80s, that's like 95 now. With the velocities and things that these kids have now, it's unreal. But we really, really, really through and through that lineup we're tough to beat.
Absolutely. John Farrell with us from that 88 Sandalwood team and continues to give back. By the way, Dan Drake on Twitter says, "What's up, John?" And he's listening. We appreciate him listening on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690. One last thing. Could Malbesh play at all? I mean, could he hit over there at Wolfson or what?
Kyle Malbesh was, I think, a little bit underrated. He was a 90-mile-an-hour pitcher with a above-average changeup and a decent little slider. But from my perspective as a hitting coach for him, he had more pop to right center field than most kids around. I think that was something that made him special as a hitter. Pretty good hitter, man.
Pretty good hitter. And, well, you were too. John Farrell, we appreciate the time, man. Thanks for jumping on, talking a little Sandalwood Saints. I know all the Sandalwood folks certainly appreciate it.
Hey, man, thanks for having me.
You bet. John Farrell helping us celebrate baseball in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. You know what happened is I'm looking and I'm getting all this information, and I said, John, I don't have a Sandalwood guy on from that team. You got to jump in here. I had reached out to Desi Relaford, and I think I had the wrong number for him. So there are guys that I tried to reach out to. Howie Kendrick is one, put in a few requests with the Washington Nationals. Quite frankly, just to be honest, hadn't heard back from them, and obviously baseball's at a weird time right now. So I think those guys are a little more difficult to get. But Howie Kendrick, I mean, unbelievable when you think about what he's been able to do from West Nassau. So I want to give a shout out to Callahan and West Nassau. I did not forget about you. And he is one of the best. And he is about as underrated as they come when you think about big leaguers from the Jacksonville area. I don't think he immediately comes to mind for some, and he should. 10th round, 2002 MLB draft. This is a guy that was like cut by junior colleges. St. John's River and Palatka, he went, and Angel Scout saw him. 2011 All-Star. 2019, like last year, World Series champ, NLCS MVP. Think about 3 out of the last 4 years, the NLCS MVP has played high school ball in Jacksonville. Howie Kendrick, Javi Baez, and Daniel Murphy. Wow. Does that say a lot or what? Coming up right now, we go to the campus of the University of North Florida. Tim Parrington joins us, the head baseball coach at UNF. Tim, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Brent. Sounds like a great show.
We're having a lot of fun
now.
we're having a lot of fun, and we're glad you're able to join us for a couple of minutes. I know you're not a local guy per se, but you've been around here long enough, and obviously you're the head coach at UNF. And you guys have been pumping out some talent as well, and I did want to bring up Donnie DeWeese, but it's more than that. Dusty Rhodes, for what he built at UNF and to help cultivate baseball in Jacksonville and on that campus, the Division II level and beyond. You've been able to get it done. A lot of guys have passed through UNF on their way to professional careers.
Right, a lot of guys have. We got 3 guys right now in AAA baseball: Brian Baker, Drew Weeks, and Donnie DeWeese, all in AAA. None of them know what's going on because when you talk to them, everybody with the situation we're in. And recently, Brad Dapperman and Frank German been probably our top 2 players that have a shot. Nick Marchese had a good year in minor league ball last year also.
And you can go back to Sid Roberson, by the way. Orange Park High School, played at UNF, and then in the big leagues along the way. And we've mentioned Dusty Rhodes' name a couple of times, as we should have. I want to check in with you, first of all. I know you had a bit about with health issues and cancer. How you feeling?
We're all perfect. Everything's good. I'm clean. I got a couple of checkups in the next few weeks. But, as of now, just go get them.
That's awesome to hear. Glad to hear it. One of the good guys here around baseball in the Jacksonville area, Tim Parrington with us, University of North Florida Ospreys head baseball coach. By way of Mississippi State, played football and baseball at Mississippi State. I'll tell you what, man, there's a special connection to ringing that bell at Mississippi State in Jacksonville, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. It goes way back. Coach West was, believe it or not, he was a GA when I was at Mississippi State. And then we got the Tommy Raffos, the Charlie Andersons, the Pat McMahons. Believe it or not, Tommy Edwards came to Mississippi State for a year before he transferred over to Florida. So Darren O'Day, I coached at Florida. So there's the connection that I have with the city of Jacksonville. It goes through Bishop Kenny pretty much.
Yeah,
it does.
A
lot of guys that have played there. And Trenton Torshire, one of your buddies.
Yep.
He lives here in Jacksonville now, not from Jacksonville, but, it's a very good connection. It's a great baseball town, and that's, one of the reasons I'm here.
Give us a quick thought before we let you go, because I'm rifling through everybody here on the show.
Right.
But Darren O'Day is one of the great stories. I think he was playing like club ball, right?
Right.
And really just out of ball. What? Say that again?
Before I got there, he was a walk-on and didn't make the team. And Pat McMahon, they told him to come back out, and they dropped him down. And then from there, it's history, man. I mean, it was like unbelievable. No one ever threw it that hard from down under where he throws it from today. Him and my assistant coach Tommy Boss are best friends. They still talk a bunch. And Darren, it's unbelievable what he did and what he's still doing.
I think Darren O'Day is one of the coolest stories. When you say drop down, he ended up being a basically submarine kind of guy, and the career he's had has been tremendous in some big spots. Darren O'Day, from really out of baseball to reinventing himself, kind of reminds me, didn't Tim Wakefield, who, by the way, lives down in Melbourne, wasn't he? He was an outfielder and then said, hey, I'm going to throw some knuckleballs and let's see what happens.
Exactly right. That's crazy how it happens. But, it's all about in baseball, you got to have patience and you got to be willing to put the work in.
All right. Hey, Tim Parrington, thanks for stopping by, man. Great to talk to you. I'm sorry we didn't have a baseball season. Oh,
me too. I had thrown BP the day before this all started. The first time since my surgery. So I'm getting back.
All right. Good to hear from you. I'm glad you're doing well, and we'll catch up down the road. That's Tim Parrington from the University of North Florida, helping us celebrate baseball, Jacksonville baseball, and Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. All right, still to come. Names like Myers, Hurley, and Butler to close out the show. I'm going to try to get them all in, Coos. Doing a heck of a job, by the way. I have put a lot of stress on Coos here today. Heck, this has been a stressful show, but we're having a heck of a lot of fun as well. I've got more names to mention. I've got to get them in. Hunter Scantling, Episcopal, and FSU, played some pro ball in the minors. Joel Davis run into some recent trouble, one of the great arms out of Jacksonville. Jack Spencer passed away last year at the age of 72. Sandalwood, Englewood, Paxson, ACD, Ben Stevens. Really, if you think about, I think travel ball now at 5-star and Legion ball outside the high school ranks, Ben Stevens, a huge name in that arena. And we mentioned Mike Jones from Episcopal, Scott Maribel as well. Rusty Green from Sandalwood, Sean Reed Foley with the Toronto Blue Jays organization. We'll mention more names and more baseball talk next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Fair skies tonight, just a chance for an isolated brief evening shower or thunderstorm, only dropping to near 70 degrees. Mostly to partly sunny and hot for your Saturday. An isolated afternoon storm inland as temperatures approach 95. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
Weather is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Did you have to postpone popping the question because of the COVID crisis? Get 5 years, 0 interest now at Beards Diamonds.
These days, the whole world is on the internet 24/7, on their phones, at work, even at the dinner table. It's the internet all the time. So why, when it's time to sell your home, does your traditional agent charge you 6% to list it on the MLS to other agents instead of targeting buyers directly online? That's why Rex was born. For a fee starting at 2%, Rex sells your home where buyers are looking, online, optimized by data-driven marketing, not the MLS. To get started, visit sellwithrex.com. That's sellwithrex.com. With Rex, selling or buying a home has never been easier. Price your home, get a virtual consultation, visit online open houses and showings, all from the comfort of your home with a few clicks of a button. Want to learn more? Visit sellwithrex.com or just use your phone and call 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-739-4663. License number CQ1057788. Minimum fee may apply. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
I think you're going to like the sound of this. You're free to enjoy Memorial Day weekend. Free to shop in person at Arlington Toyota. Free from payments until 2021. That's no payments until 2021 on a new and used purchase this Memorial Day weekend at Arlington Toyota. And with every new and used purchase from Arlington, you get the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club packed with rewards, savings, and benefits like a lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles on new purchases. Want even more good news? How about Arlington's 30-day exchange policy? That's 30 days to love your ride or exchange it. Plus, with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon scores from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. As always, your safety is Arlington's top priority, and they're closely following all CDC guidelines for your total peace of mind. This Memorial Day weekend, enjoy no payments on new and used till 2021. Thanks to our friends at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Memorial Day savings for full details.
This is a CMG Open for Business report. During these changing times, it's challenging for businesses across North Florida, big and small, but businesses are adjusting to meet your needs in a safe and comfortable way. Here's today's list of businesses that are open for you. Maudlin International Truck and Trailer, the
Preferred Group, Preferred Roofing, and Preferred Building, The Blinds Guys, Gutter Helmet, Expert Glassworks. If you're open for business, let us know by emailing us at openjax@cmg.com. Together, we're getting through this.
This is Pastor Abraham Lincoln Washington, and it's time for the truth. You didn't like what she said, and you definitely didn't like the way she said what she said. But was what she said the truth? Do it, and then you will have earned the right to change the way she'll say it. It will change for you. This has been Pastor Abraham Lincoln Washington, and the truth will make you free.
Hey, boss, I brought the loot back from the warehouse.
Uh-huh. And how many stops did you make with our stolen merchandise in the van?
Stops? How'd you know, boss?
'Cause now I have something called Connected Car.
Connected Car?
Yeah, I got it through the Safe Touch security system we have at the warehouse.
Wait, Connected Car is linked to the van?
Yeah. Say you're a parent with a teenager you want to keep an eye on, or a boss who wants to monitor commercial vehicles. Or maybe you got an employee that likes to stop for fries and milkshakes when he should be coming straight back.
It was onion rings.
No stops next time.
Got it. Jeez, Connected Car. Just add that to the reasons we have the Crooks R Us motto,
stay away from Safe Touch houses. It's a long list.
Here, I saved you an onion ring.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Diamonds Direct celebrates the reopening of our local economy with our most amazing offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with no money down on anything and everything. Yes! Now for a limited time, including Memorial Day, Diamonds Direct is doing our part to help you get back to normal and celebrate your love like never before. Our prices and values are the best ever. Our showcases are fully stocked, and we're letting you buy now with nothing down, and you can spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. Been putting off that engagement? Get her a $6,000 designer ring now and pay just $100 a month. Did you miss celebrating that anniversary? How about a $3,000 Diamond Eternity Band for just $50 a month? Summer is the season for love, and we're doing all we can to make this summer one to remember with exceptional values, extra selection, and the most exceptional finance opportunity. 5 years, 0 interest on approved credit. And yes, we are open Memorial Day. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Today and every day, the Child Cancer Fund salutes the medical professionals on the front lines of pediatric cancer care. If you're in a position that allows you to give, your gift makes a difference. Please visit childcancerfund.org. That's childcancerfund.org to give today.
Hello, I'm Chuck Barnes. At Barnes & Cohen, we're pulling out all the stops to protect your health and ours. We have the latest software that enables our staff who are at high risk to work remotely without sacrificing first-class representation. Our offices remain open. We have a sanitized conference room, but maybe your best option, meet us here in our courtyard. Barnes & Cohen will continue to serve you in the safest way possible.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
Hi, I'm Nathan from Gordon Chevy in Orange Park. We're all about saving you money, especially right now, where we all need great deals to put smiles on our faces. So check out a hot new Silverado and save up to $9,500, or a new Equinox crossover and save up to $6,500. Plus, you can delay the first payment for up to 4 months. Check out the deals at GordonChevy.com, arrange for home delivery, curbside pickup, or visit us in our freshly cleaned showroom. We are here to accommodate. Gordon Chevy and the money-saving end of planning in Orange Park. Chevy, find new roads.
Throughout the pandemic, Barnabas Center has been on the front lines in Nassau County providing critical assistance to those in need of food, financial assistance, and health care. Barnabas thanks its many supporters. For information and to support Barnabas, visit barnabasnassau.org.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Austin Lane from Action Sports Jackson, ESPN 690.
social distancing doesn't mean disconnecting. If you're working from home, keep tabs on the world of sports and Action Sports Jax on your smart speaker. Tell your Amazon Echo or Google Home, play ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Myers has the sign from Briscoes. Curveball struck him out. The Phillies are National League East champions. Look at the scene on the field. Look at the scene on the stands. This is incredible. The Phillies are National League East champions and will go to the postseason for the first time since 1993.
How about that? I don't know what's better, Brett Myers throwing the pitch or Harry Callis calling it. What's better, Myers?
Definitely Harry Callis calling that. that gave me chills listening to it.
Dude, that was when I went back and watched it. I was like, that's awesome that Harry Callis.
It was a terrible curveball too. It was a terrible curveball. I still watch it to this day, and I go, "Oh my God, how did he not hit that?"
You're 6'4", 240 pounds. You come out of Inglewood. Chris Hayes says you just had heat, and you're throwing a curveball to clinch the first Phillies postseason since '93.
Let me tell you a little bit about Willie Mo Pena. That guy is a beast. Okay, and I faced him all through the minor leagues, and I knew he could hit a heater. So I knew what to throw him in that situation. So he'd never done well against my curveball before. So I was lucky enough to finish that season out, and they gave me that opportunity to be in that situation. So
that's awesome. Brett Myers with us. If you don't know the voice from Inglewood High School 1999 state championship team, we're celebrating local baseball here today, man. It's been a lot of fun. We only have about 15 minutes left in the show, and I've got Eric Hurley coming up, Billy Butler, and Desi Relaford just texted me. He's going to pop on as well. But a 97 and 96 record for you from 2002 to 2013, first-round pick back in 99. What made you so good in 99 that they said, hey, we need a first-round pick? I mean, did you just throw smoke? Was it the competitor in you that, like Chris Hayes mentioned earlier in the show? Why do you think they took you so high?
Well, honestly, I had no idea. But since I was a young kid, probably 7 years old, I just had the dream. I remember my dad telling me when I was 7, I said, that's what I want to do when I get older. And he goes, 1 in a million, make it. And I told him, I said, why can't I be that one? And from that day forward, I just kind of put my life and everything into baseball, and that's exactly what I it was either do or die for me, either make it or be a car salesman. That had nothing else to do but play baseball, and that's what I wanted to do with my life. And I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to be able to go out there and achieve my dream.
Absolutely. Brett Myers with us, of course, with the Phillies, also for the Astros and the Indians as well later on in his career. Best year was 2010, man. 14-8, 3.14 ERA. What went so right that year for you?
I had a great pitching coach that basically we gelled. And I was on I know for a fact I was on the worst baseball team in the major leagues. I just saw an article about it today that in 2010 where I pitched against the Tampa Bay Rays and went 7 innings, gave up no unearned runs and stuff like that. And I was like, and then it kept saying in the article how bad a team we were. And I still won 14 games that year. I was lucky enough to do that. But that was definitely, I finally gelled with a guy that helped me through my career. I finally found a guy, and then the next year they fired him, and then that's history.
It's amazing. Just little things like that makes a big difference, especially at that level. 4.25 ERA in the career, almost 1,400 strikeouts, and, of course, that World Series in 2008. Where do you keep the ring?
In a drawer. Sometimes. The other day, it was funny. I had a buddy of mine come over, and he's like, let me see this World Series ring, and I couldn't find it.
Come on, you can't find it.
I couldn't find it. I didn't know where I put it. So but it might have been from the last time I showed the guy. But I don't necessarily flaunt the thing around or anything like that. It's not one of those things. I'm like a humble guy, and a lot of people probably laugh at that because when I was younger, I definitely was an arrogant, necessary arrogance to play the game and stuff like that. But as I've grown older, I'm not as brash, I guess you would say.
And I know you're teaching a bunch of kids to play ball and still giving back here in Jacksonville. Brett Myers, 2008 World Series champ, first-round pick out of Inglewood High School in 1999. Thanks for jumping in, man.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that's Brett Myers. We're going to get to Eric Hurley in just a moment. I want to mention a couple of things. We have football and baseball guys from the Jacksonville area. How about Hayden Hurst, right? Picked by the Pirates. And the baseball career, we had him in just a couple months ago. Fell apart a little bit. Now he's with the Atlanta Falcons, was drafted by the Baltimore Ravens in the first round. He's been a first-round Major League Baseball guy, first-round NFL guy. And then there's Tim Tebow, played in the NFL, of course, college great quarterback. Everybody knows Tebow. But given it the baseball try, can he make it to the big leagues? Where does his career stand? A little bit in limbo right now. I also have to mention, in my research, somebody on social media said, hey, man, Mr. Baseball in this area is John Henry Pop Lloyd. I said, wow, I never heard of him. So I looked him up. Negro League shortstop and manager, born in Palatka. Best shortstop ever in the Negro Leagues. And Babe Ruth, according to what I read, said he might have been the best player he's ever seen. How about that? John Henry Pop Lloyd from Palatka. And if I'm saying this right, he was nicknamed El Cuchara, which translates to the shovel or tablespoon because his ability to field batted balls at the shortstop position. Baseball Hall of Famer in 1977, posthumously. John Henry Pop Lloyd. That was a cool find. I loved reading up on that when I was looking up some Jacksonville baseball history. One other thing I'd like to pass along is one of the greats from Jacksonville, and is Ryan Friel. And it's the late Ryan Friel, suffered from CTE, had many concussions in his career, but had a fantastic baseball career. Another guy from Inglewood, and the first Major League Baseball player, by the way, that was diagnosed with CTE, as his family sent his brain to, I think it was Boston University after he passed, and it tested positive for CTE on the baseball diamond. He played all out, whether he was sliding or diving for a catch, and the Cincinnati Reds fans loved him. I remember tweeting something a couple years ago. There's a bench down in Davis Park in Ponte Vedra, and it's dedicated to Ryan Friel, and I just tweeted that out and said something about it, and I got so many responses on Twitter, and I think a lot of it was from the Cincinnati Reds fans. So don't want to leave today without mentioning Ryan Friel as well. All right, our next guest coming up here on the show, was he part of the best high school team ever in Jacksonville? That will be the first question for Eric Hurley, the old Wolfson days. Hurley, thanks for taking some time, man. What's the answer?
Whew. That Sandalwood team wasn't terrible, but I love to play them, though.
Yeah, that would be. Can we do that on like a video game or something?
There's got to be a way, right?
Hey, you made your 2008 debut. You made your big league debut in 2008. You got your first win, I think, against the Phillies. What I couldn't find out, who pitched against you that day? Tell me it was Brett.
It was not Brett. Gosh, I don't.
Well, he was closing at that time, maybe too. He might have been.
Yeah, he's like 20 years older than me, so hopefully he's listening to this.
Eric Hurley, 30th overall pick in 2004 from the Texas Rangers. Seriously, man, how good was that team? I mean, you talk. We're going to have Billy Butler. In fact, he's on hold right now. He's going to call in. You better say nice things about your former teammate. But, I mean, 2 first-round guys on the same high school team back in 2004. It's unbelievable.
That team was fun, man. The chemistry we had on that team and the talent we had on that team, that was special to be a part of. You talk about Billy's. To me, probably the best hitter I've ever seen high school baseball. It was incredible. It was actually fun for me because he would make me look good at the plate at times because when he hit behind me, it was just like fastball galore because nobody wanted to pitch to Billy. So I appreciate him for all the fastballs.
I'm sure he's listening to that. He can thank you for that. Hey, I've got to ask you about this. Do you say sometimes, or are you over this part of it of what could have been? You got so unlucky, man. Rotator cuff, labrum, hamstring, skull fracture after getting hit by a comebacker. I mean, you must ask yourself, when's it going to end?
You beat yourself up a little bit. Nobody likes being injured by any stretch. So I think after all my injuries, I did end up making it back, here and there to the big leagues. So I didn't get much opportunity up there. But the fact that I, got back was good. So the injuries, you kind of say what if at the time, but at the same time, you look around, I get to see my kids and I think the what ifs that you do think about are the what ifs, what if I didn't have, what I have right now, and I do cherish what I do have right now. So I kind of look at it that way.
Well, and I know you have great perspective. You work with some of the bright young arms in the area now, and you obviously can harness some of that and take care of them. That's got to be top of mind these days, right? Taking care of the arms, even with all these young kids that so many of them are flamethrowers.
Absolutely. There's a lot of big arms in the area. I mean, Jacksonville's always done a really good job of producing, good talent. And it's fun to work with them. It is. These kids are awesome. All they want to do is compete and work. And, from the individual standpoint and lessons and stuff like that, it's a blast. I mean, it really is to be one-on-one with a kid and teach them and see them grow, see them smile when they do it right, and pick them up when they're frustrated when they do it wrong. It's very rewarding.
Doing a great job of it. Eric Hurley, 30th overall pick back in 2004 on that great Wolfson High School team. Thanks for jumping in, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Brent.
All right, that's Eric Hurley, and now let's go to his teammate, Billy Butler. Eric Hurley just said, best guy I've ever seen hit a baseball at the high school level. That's Billy Butler. Guy could flat out hit, did it for a long time in the big leagues, especially with the Kansas City Royals. Billy Butler in Idaho Falls. How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, great. Thanks for jumping in. We just made contact earlier this afternoon. Brent Martineau here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. We're celebrating Jacksonville baseball. The show's about to end in a few minutes, but we couldn't do this without you, man. You are one of the best hitters to ever come out of here. Could you always just flat out hit?
I got a lot of God-given talent with that, and I got a dad at home that was in the military, and a lot of days when I didn't want to hit, he pushed me to go hit, but most of the time I did want to go hit. He pushed me to hit a lot of days in a row. My dad growing up, we couldn't have a holiday till I hit. So yeah, the holidays didn't even start until I got back from the batting cage. So they'll tell you the type of dad I had and the type of work ethic I was coming from.
Well, it translated, man. You hit 290 in the big leagues. Had some sensational seasons as well. You go back to 2013, 289, 2012, obviously the All-Star year, Silver Slugger year. You hit 313. What went right that year when you had 29 homers and 107 driven in?
I think you catch a lot of breaks, too, as well. Yeah, I hit a few more balls out of the ballpark. As you can see, most of the time I had more doubles, and then I got the balls to go out of the park on that one. I was loved every second of being a Kansas City Royal and everything like that. If anybody's been to that stadium, you know it's one of the biggest parks in the league. It's hard to hit it out of there.
Yeah.
So gaps are 390, and they actually brought those in from before I got there. It was before 420 in center, and it was 410 now when I got there. So it was bigger than it was, and it was still huge. But, to have a year like that, you got to catch a lot of breaks. For me, the only way I get that Silver Slugger is if you look at it, David Ortiz went down after X amount of games, was having an absolutely monster year. And if he didn't get hurt, I wouldn't get the Silver Slugger. I don't ever wish anybody to get hurt or anything like that. David Ortiz is probably the best, one of the best DHs ever, and if not the best. A guy named Edgar Martinez, obviously. But you get the guys that like that. He had a year like that. I kind of fell into that award. I don't know. I had a great year, but he was having one of those years where he had one of those monster years again. So that would have been another one in his trophy box. But I just happened to, finished that year out, and he had an unfortunate injury.
Billy Butler with us here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Tell everybody what you're doing, man. You're out in Idaho. How did you end up there? Do you have any connections to Jacksonville anymore other than Kyle Malbesh?
Yeah, obviously Eric, and I have a bunch of coaches there. Johnny Farrell, Scott Maribel, all those guys. I mean, still have a lot of friends and guys I grew up with still there. As for the family, I have a few cousins. My grandparents do not live there anymore. My grandpa lives with my parents in Alabama, so I don't have as many ties there as I did before, but I have a lot of friends I need to come back and see. I get Johnny Farrell all the time tells me to come back. I need to. I get it. I understand. It's hard to get. I'm about as far west as I can get from where I grew up. So it's tough to get back out there, especially when I have three young daughters, 11, 7, and 4. So I'm coaching 2 softball teams this summer, and all that kind of good stuff. And most times just coaching, giving lessons here and there on some of the kids, just stay involved in the game. But mostly it's just raising my young family that I have.
Well, enjoy the time out there in Idaho, man. Billy Butler, man, could flat out hit it. 290 in the big leagues, 147 home runs. I wish we could keep you for longer, but you got to come back and join the show when we have a little bit more time, all right?
Hey, I just want to say, hey, thanks to I heard the nice things that Eric said. I appreciate all those things. That's probably the best arm I played with growing up. Had some unfortunate injuries and everything like that. Would have had a long career in the big leagues, but he had a lot of good things he brought to the table, especially to me personally, and to the team that we had in high school and everything like that. And he deserved more than he got. And things happen in baseball for unfortunate reasons. I just wish him the best and always do. And he made it, and he did well, and he was probably one of the best arms I actually got to face and be with.
That's a very nice compliment. By the way, man, people love you in Jacksonville. No doubt what you were able to do in the big leagues at Wilson High School and obviously beyond. Best to your family, and hopefully we'll get with you again down the road.
Appreciate it, guys. I know I need to get back, and when I come back, it'll be a great time. I appreciate all the nice things.
All right, that's Billy Butler here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. We're running right up against it, but I just got a text short time ago from Desi Relaford. We go 2004 Wilson team with Hurley and with Billy Butler back to that 88 Sandalwood team. Well, actually 91 Sandalwood team with Relaford, but you know what I'm talking about. That time frame. Desi Relaford played in the bigs for a long time. One of the greats to come out of Jacksonville and Sandalwood High School. Hey, Desi, what's happening, man?
Hey, Brent, how's it going, man? You doing
thanks.
all right?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for taking a couple minutes. We're way up against it, so I won't keep you as long as I can. But
Right.
How good were those teams back in the Sandalwood days?
I mean, those guys were really good. Coming up and being a young player, watching them, it just it motivated you. It motivated you to want to be good, and there was just a certain level of play that you needed to have to make a Sandalwood team, much less play on it. So watching those guys was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. You played a long time in the bigs, man. How fun was that to carry kind of the Sandalwood flag, the Jacksonville flag, and take it to the big leagues for as long as you did?
Well, anytime you get to, follow your passion and live out your dreams, at a young age, there's not much more you can ask for. So, blessed to have had the opportunity to play for such a long time, and coming from a really strong lineage of players over at Sandalwood.
What is it about the Jacksonville player growing up that you saw that kind of made you, whether it was a toughness or just kind of playing against good talent, that maybe made some of that transition a little bit easier? Not saying they're all big leaguers, not that kind of talented, but Jacksonville ingrained something in you.
Well, yeah, I think it does come down to there just really is a lot of good talent that comes out of this city. Always has, and I think it'll continue to do that. The year I finally made the varsity team, my 10th grade year, we were number 4 in the country that year. Had a bunch of guys go to college, and a few guys get drafted. I think not that particular year, but guys on the team. Like, I was in 10th grade, so I'm counting myself and a couple other guys, but there were like 6 guys on that team that got drafted that were there, 5 or 6 on that team in '89.
Unbelievable.
Which is crazy. Yeah, which is crazy. So, we've always put out talent at Sandalwood and in the city. So that's a pride thing. And it's known in pro ball too. Pro ball guys know that Jacksonville represents.
That's awesome. Desi Relaford, hey, thanks for reaching out, man. I'm glad we were able to get you on the show. I wish we had a little more time, but let's do it again down the road.
All right, Brent. Thanks for having me, bro.
That's Desi Relaford. How fun was that? 22 interviews with local guys, coaches, players, big leaguers, people that really made an impact in Jacksonville baseball. And speaking of, I do have to give a quick shout out to Walk-Off Charities. I tried to get the guy who organizes Walk-Off Charities on, but he said he was busy or something like that. But that is giving back to baseball. Although so many of the guys we had on the show today heavily involved with Walk-Off Charities. Look it up, giving kids a chance to get a glove, play baseball, be exposed to the game. And maybe we should write a little history book and give it to those kids and say, you can be like Desi, Billy Butler, all of those kind of, Storm Davis. The list goes on and on. Maybe the next Austin Martin, Austin Hayes, Javi Baez, Chipper Jones. How fun was this to relive some of those guys and the memories? And go check out Walk-Off Charities. They missed their big fundraiser because of the pandemic. They're going to try to do something in July, and the money raised will really help kids play baseball. So go look it up. Our friends over there at Walk-Off Charities. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out with us, Coos. Thanks for doing all the hard work. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully baseball will be back soon. And coming up right after this on ESPN 690, the national championship game, Florida State, Auburn from 2013.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine.